I mean, I don't like to be 100% ready because I feel like it can only go downhill.
We're on. We're on. We are here. Welcome.
We are on.
Well met.
Well met, travellers.
Can you hear me loudly eating an apple?
Oh Lord. Oh,
I can hear someone twice.
playing it outside, out loud.
Whip round, yeah. Whip it. Whip it.
Oh, Mike, it's you.
Michael.
You're watching the stream. You can't watch the stream and have the audio coming back through your own microphone. It'll be an
You
endless-
can't stream snipe.
Stop stream sniping, dude.
Just who I am, man. Leave me alone.
Mike.
Okay, I've actually put something wrong, so hang on a sec, boys.
Oh.
I like to have the Twitch chat open in case someone tries to.
Yeah,
you know,
your Twitch chat monitor, Mike.
How many viewers are we getting?
Which police?
We had like 30. We had like 30 people at one point,
Yeah.
didn't
That's
we?
me.
We had like 100 the first time.
Diminishing returns,
We had
that's
like
what they call
100.
that.
No way.
Yeah, they listened to us and they decided.
Yeah, they call that a tale of diminishing returns.
Yeah, they don't like us. We're pretty shit.
We're pretty
Okay, yeah.
offensive.
Switch
Too edgy,
it
mate.
over.
But
It was the horse pussy.
yeah,
I'm sorry, was it?
How do I get rid
Wait,
of
what?
the chat window? This is your fault, Theo.
sorry.
My brother asked me yesterday if our stream was safe for children. He was thinking of recommending it to my nephews. And I was like,
I hope you said
no,
not
no,
yet.
please.
That's going to be
Probably
a no.
should.
They'll have nightmares for life. They'll hear things they'll never be able to unhear.
No.
Bad horse
Well, I
pussy.
mean, I played the first D&D campaign that I ever played. My friend's character got sexually assaulted by Knowles.
Oh, not Knowles.
I know, because he did the classic murder hobo thing. So the DM punished him.
That's a
Oh,
classic
no.
like early game punishment.
Yeah.
Being savaged by Knowles.
It's a bit like, you know, a more rapey version of Jamie Lannister getting his hand cut off. Jamie Lannister's basically a murder hobo, and then he gets put in line. But
Didn't your character get both of his hands chopped off, Theo?
yeah, he did.
That is true.
Yeah,
That is
that's
something
that's
that happened. Right, so boys, hang on.
Fuck.
Where is Aiden?
Late.
Boil up a pot. Take a seat by the warming hearth and enjoy a fine beverage with the journeyman questers.
That's the journeyman.
Finest beverage!
Hey, your kids. Hey, your wife.
Do 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 do.
Arms everywhere.
Can we just do a check that Rolo has the sound from roll 20 coming out?
No.
So
do
Nay.
go to the
Nay.
cog wheel,
I shall.
and the master music volume level is the bar there.
Yes.
Whereabouts is it? Is it in the middle?
I'll just put it up to the middle, but it was glitching the fuck out last night. Okay, yeah, it's up.
Can you hear the music?
No.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We'll hum it for you.
I can't hear music.
It's stopped now.
There's an audio output source in the scroll down in the thing, and you need to put that to your output.
This is long, man.
Regardless,
It's just coming up with
Welcome.
none. It's only giving the option of none, which
Oh.
is a bit rude.
weird.
Pretty gash.
That is annoying.
Chase the little rat dog.
I'll
around
let
there.
you guys
That's fine.
figure that out while we have today's catch up.
And now
By
it's just making a weird, glitchy squelch.
today's catch up by none other than
But what's the audio doing?
Dutch.
It's just going bloop, bloop.
What kind of music would you like in the background, Dutch? That you can't even hear?
It's not so glitchy.
Pick a tune. Pick a tune.
A Dutch catch up.
Oh fuck.
That's
Hold
right.
on.
It's all going
What do
wrong.
you mean, oh fuck?
Some banjo. Get some banjo.
No, because then I'll go fucking Texan or Cajun. That's a whole nother thing.
Take it away whenever you're ready.
I will when I'm ready. Thank you.
I've just seen Rolo's Smeg in the background.
Sorry, what?
That's some
His
big
fridge.
Smeg right there.
Big old
That's a lot.
No, you can't do that on stream.
You're live on the internet. What are you
You're
doing?
actually
thought
live
you
on
asked
the
for Smeg.
internet.
Why is he getting the fucking? What are you doing?
I'm just making my little boy's milk.
Ah.
Okay.
Not literally making it. That would be gross.
Milking it from your man titties.
How I hate my boy's milk. Wanking it.
I'm just doing my fatherly lactation.
What can I say? I'm a lactating man.
Dad responsibilities.
Right, take it away, Mike.
PG-13.
TRB.
What?
Take it away. Your catch up.
The timing of that half-pint prick is perfect. Now with Rufus stepping down, and Wyora helping to calm the crowd, while we go off to save people, must put her in good stead. Maybe after my time with the loggers, and then saving the boy in front of them, they'll remember who I am, and forget about my little, indiscretion. I know I killed a man, but we've all killed men. Lots of men. Some more deserving than others. I mean, it's all fucked now anyway, with King Bren, the Forest, the Dwarves, the Elves from the Underdark, and Rufus's nephew. We're pulled in so many directions we don't have time to think. And that's when we make mistakes. And that's when we let things slip. And that's why the gnome is dead. Dutch is going to take a minute to look around his comrades. The people gathered in the square who witnessed what happened, and think to himself, I don't fit in here. Not here, not our old home, not with the orcs, and not anywhere. So Dutch stands up straight, rejects his moment of thought on this, looks to his comrades and says, "So who's ready to go kill some bastards?"
Aye, sir. I stand with
Here.
you.
So, after all that happened previously, you stand now in the town square of Ungmiri. The crowd is still there, restless. You can see the tension beginning to kind of ease from them, but a new tension beginning to rise. A tension of confusion and mistrust. You hear a few people in the crowd begin to call out, shouting sort of above the rest, "Someone gonna explain what that was?" And then someone else, "Always bad news when the gypsies arrive, I say." Someone else, "No, they saved us from the blood moon." And sort of a kind of bit of a squabble begins to break out through the crowd. "I heard it was because then Frank came here in the first place. That's why the blood moon was here." And there's like people shouting all sorts of things at this point. What are you doing, Gypsies?
Ruthless. We've got to settle them. We've got to keep them calm. Otherwise, Oshkar's going to get what he wants: chaos, carnage, infighting. We can't have that.
There's infighting no matter where you go. Maybe your forest is different, but the world's fucked, Zook.
But we can't just let everything crash and burn because of a man like Oshkar. We're not letting him get what he wants.
Yeah, we're trying to stop Oshkar. We're trying to stop a fucking King Bren on the warpath.
All I'm saying, we need to calm them down. We need to keep the
Luke's
people.
right, Dutch. We need to deal with one problem at a time. Right now, priority is to calm these folk.
But they're all going to be
You're
dead
right.
anyway if King Bren gets here. What's the fucking point?
I understand your lack of heart in this matter, Dutch.
Can't hear you.
I understand why you might feel this way, Dutch. But nonetheless, we must try.
People are pointing up towards you now on the stage, the gypsies, and Waylon turns to you, Rufus. Rufus?
Yeah, Rufus will turn around and address the crowd. People of Amiri,
Oh, Josh,
I'm sorry.
really, really loud. I don't know.
Oh, I'm very loud.
Yeah, you're so,
I better not
so loud.
I better not shout then.
Let's address it. Let's address it first before it goes on. It was like.
Okay.
Fucking great.
Yes.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, man.
Okay. People of Amiri, please calm yourselves. I'm sorry for what you've just witnessed, the ordeal you had to endure there, but we are safe for now.
You always bring bad things wherever you go. We're always in danger here. No thanks
Silence,
to you.
peasant. Can I fucking backhand slap the nearest one who's talking trash about us?
You don't know. There's a big crowd, and you're unsure where exactly it's coming from.
Okay, I get the nearest one. I shield bash the nearest grim-looking peasant.
Oh God!
Silence, you ungrateful serf! Like that.
You just shield bash this guy. His nose explodes in a shower of blood that kind of like sprays out, and he stumbles back. You can see at this point the crowd is turning. People are getting angry. Some people
Varian.
point towards you.
What are you doing? Rowan? I call over Rowan. Take that man away. Put him somewhere
After
where
all
he's
I've
not
done
going to
for
cause any
these
trouble.
shit heels.
Rowan and some of the guard approach you, Varian. They say, Varian, come quietly for now. We'll take you somewhere else.
Very well.
They begin escorting you sort of off in the direction of your tavern.
Sounds fair.
Now please, people, calm yourselves. There's no need for this. There's no need to fight amongst ourselves. If that was the case, then Oshkar would have his way. He would be a winner. I understand your fears. Some of you may think that we bring danger here, but danger is out there. It will always come for us, no matter where we are. And that's exactly why I am away so often, trying not to bring that danger to your door. But I'm sorry that it did come today.
Roll me a persuasion check, please, Rufus.
Persuasion! Oh, fuck, dude, it's a 19 plus 9.
Ooh.
28.
Ooh.
Rufus's words quiet the crowd to the point where even Rowan and the guard escorting Varian off turn to listen. Varian, you hear this and you watch this man, this gnome, Rufus, speaking these words of truth. The crowd, a murmur kind of goes through the crowd as they are almost just calmed by his presence. And you know Rufus to be a leader, beyond doubt. At this point, Waora steps up beside you, Rufus, placing a hand upon your shoulder. The Gypsies have always stood by this town, some even given their lives for it. They protect us from the dark things of this world. They are not the darkness. They are the light. I vow that if I am chosen as your new representative, we will flourish and burn brighter than ever before in these dark times. For when there is darkness, there will always be light. Let us be that light. Let us be that light together. A beacon of hope. And you can see the crowd, people begin to look to one another, hearing these kind of words, begin nodding. And slowly a cheer begins to erupt from the crowd. And people start waving, and the entire energy of this crowd begins to shift back to that of the friendly town you are so used to. Some people begin laughing and cheering, and some people begin shouting, Weora! Weora for mayor! Weora! Waylon steps forwards at this point. Silence, silence, please, please, please. There is a way we go about this here, and you all know that. Some people begin booing Waylon. He kind of does this at the crowd. There is a process, I tell you. A process, and we must honor it. You see within the crowd...
He got clothes on now?
He had clothes on before. He was just under his robes. He had this, device strapped to him. You see Franwyn Applebottom in the crowd walk forwards. And she turns and addresses the crowd herself. I step down my candidacy towards mayorship. I have been mayor before, and I let you all down once. I shall not do so again. I know when I am defeated. And she turns to Weora and shakes her hand. And the crowd erupts. Woo. People start shouting. And although there was this essentially incredible tension before, people are seemingly relaxed and relieved, seeing that the majority of what they saw was illusions and no one actually was harmed, that they could tell. The device itself shot out confetti, the people with crossbows weren't real. So the people, as far as they know, nothing actually that bad happened. Some people erupt into song, and you can see that festivities are starting to be had. The kind of bunting and the various decorations on the trees of the market square are lit. The sun is now beginning to go down, and people are running off to light the candles and the lights around the town. And the vibe has completely changed. It is that of a festival now. People begin cheering and are merry. Even the man who you bloodied the nose of, Varian, he comes to you and he comes over and says, I think you owe me a point.
Very well, peasant. To the Gypsies' Rest, where I will give you a pint of the finest Varamarkian ale available.
I think you mean the Fortune's Rest, right?
Aye, sir.
He
and
shakes your
I grab
hand.
him up. I grab him up by his shoulders and I drive him up down the road.
What are the rest of you doing?
Can Rufus? Can I call over Rowan again?
Yep, Rowan comes over. Rufus.
Rowan, I need you to send a few men to certain locations. If you would, could you send a couple to Rinnick's shop and another few to where was it? The Hunters Guild.
Yeah.
To the Hunters Guild. There's a body in each location that needs to be taken to Zook's Glade, if you could. Hopefully before any of the villagers find them.
You turn around and you just see Zook's already floating away into the streets towards Rinnick's shop.
Rowan turns and says, that will be done, Rufus. Although I must say now, you are no longer mayor. But I do this out of the respect I have for you. And the respect that this town has for you. He turns and begins issuing orders off to some of the watch. And they make their way off into the crowd.
Whilst this was, whilst the commotion started to build in the crowd, Oh, pardon me. Draug would have liked to have found Dutch, and into his hand he'll press just a small bottle of obviously some hard liquor, and he'll give him a
poison or blood.
He'll smile and give him sort of a slightly somber nod. You look tested, brother.
It's constant. Chilling. We don't stop. And when we do, what? Some sweet words from Rufus will cheer up the people, but no one fucking trusts us.
It's not for us to be trusted. Rufus and Richter, they have a way to lead people, to gain their trust. The skills that we have, people might not always understand. And sure, sometimes I find myself thinking, would I be happier if I found somewhere to settle down and lived a more quiet life? But I know that my calling is because of the responsibility that I have thrust upon myself. And I feel it is the same with you. We have the ability to be able to survive certain situations that the people for example, of this town could not. And for me, that means that the responsibility of my life is to do what I can to make it a better place. But I do not need the gratification of other people congratulating me. It is enough to know that, it is enough to hope that at least it could be a better place once I've left the world. I know it's tough at times. Well,
just know when we die properly, and we go wherever, anyone that outlives us is going to have to live through another bunch of tyrannical wankers trying to rule over them, kill them, enslave them, subjugate them, or whatever. And everything we've done hasn't made a spot of fucking difference.
We can't know that. We've made a huge difference in Ingmiri, whether or not we can see that is the case or not. It is easy to say, like some of the townsfolk were initially saying, that we've brought it upon them, but what state would the town be if we'd never arrived? Perhaps one day this could be a golden beacon, but on the other hand, it could also burn. At least we can give it a chance. At least we can give it a shot. I might not have the words to persuade you in this very moment, but I hope that, I'm sure we'll have some low times and some high times in the future. But there's work to be done. The best we can do is break it down, tackle each one as it comes. We'll leave it to Rufus and Richter and those who have a way with people to...
Gnome folk in the banana skin.
Yeah. Anyway, enjoy a drink on me.
A couple of people bump into you, a couple of ladies in kind of these flowing dresses dancing, and they kind of giggle a bit and, oh, I'm sorry. And they look towards you, Dutch, and one of them says, fancy a dance? The other one looks towards you, Draug, and you meet the face. Obviously you can't see her face, but you sense her there. And Dutch, you would see her expression just drop to pale white, and she grabs her friend and drags her off through the crowd away from you both.
Brother, got to tell you something. You're the ugly one now.
You were always more handsome than myself, Dutch.
And let's go get a drink.
I wish that we could. But you can choose to come with me or not, but there is a certain issue, the issue that Anchor is missing. And as much as I'd like to join in with the festivities, I feel a responsibility to at least make some leeway in that regard. Find out who betrayed Ungmiri, and I have an inkling of who might. Brenna's sons. The ones
I
who...
was literally going to go to the brothel anyway to make sure they were like, everyone was like happy.
Well, perhaps you could go there and enjoy a drink, and I'll make myself unnoticed.
And I'll make myself very noticed.
Cutting across to Zook. You said you were floating off where to?
Through the crystal pool.
Okay. Varian, you see Zook beginning to float off out of town. You can either make your merriments back to your tavern, or potentially follow the gnomish pixie.
The crystal pool being Rinnick's shop, yeah, not the grove.
Oh, of course, yeah. He's heading off to the shop in which you have heard that the person that was there, the herbalist Rinnick, who's Zook's relative of some kind, not uncle, right? Like,
he's not the guy I fucking killed, the laughing type.
No, it's the older man who died, who was poisoned.
Rinnick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Maybe like a second uncle twice removed. He's definitely not close, but yeah.
I don't think Varian would follow him.
Okay, so Varian's
Too
heading to the
interested in going
Fortune's
for the
Rest.
pub. Yeah.
Okay. Grim catches up with you on the way. Grim being your bartender from Thaldoral originally, the deep gnome who was killed by Brenna the Boar and her cronies when they came to Ungmiri from Thaldoral.
Salutations to me, and to you, my stunted friend.
He is now reincarnated as an elf, so he's actually a bit
fuck.
taller than you. But he's getting used to his new body. But his voice is still very much that of like a deep gnome.
Really shredded. He's like really shredded and makes Varian look like a short potato.
No, he's quite thin and lean and tall, Grim. Hey, Varian. Just a couple things. So, it wasn't you the whole time, and I didn't know. I mean, you were paying me. I was doing the work. I was wondering why you were so nice for a while. Also, you weren't drinking any Varamakian ale. I should have known.
You should have known. And what else was I doing?
Skulking around mostly in your chambers upstairs. I obviously don't tend to go in them, but it was mighty weird. I've never heard or seen anything of it.
And how much was I paying you?
Oh, you were paying me...
Less.
You were paying me a good amount. I mean... an average wage.
Well, see that you earn it. And I storm off, and I'm heading up to my chambers to give that an investigate.
Okay, you begin to head towards the... He's catching up with you on the street, so
You've
begin
just
to
gone
head
completely silent.
towards me.
Oh, I just triggered fucking Siri. Sorry, I didn't hear any of that.
He's catching up on you in the street, so you're making your way at the moment to the tavern. It's a shame you can't hear the jolly music playing right now.
That's pissing me off.
Ruthus, what are you doing?
Ruthus is going to spin suddenly and turn to Waora in the square and just like run up to her and grab her hands and say, Elgrin, he's safe. Don't worry. We found him. We got to him in time. And then I'm going to shout out to Elgrin for him to come forth from wherever he was hiding.
You see him come forth with Fleet. Fleet seemingly, either Elgrin found Fleet or Fleet found Elgrin. They both come forwards. Fleet there in his sort of his slightly oversized half plate. He still hasn't quite bulked out enough to fill it, but he's wearing his sword on his belt, and he does kind of look the part, the young sort of noble. But Elgrin in his robes, sweaty and scared looking, coming out. He approaches you on the stage, and Wayor runs over and embraces him and says, "Don't be so stupid. Where were you?" He just kind of looks up at her and looks towards you, Rufus.
I'll kneel down and put a hand on his shoulder and say, Elgrin, I'm glad you're safe. I'm sorry for what happened to you this evening. I want you to know that we'll always be here, the Gypsies and I. We'll always look after you and the rest of the townfolk.
He just nods. There's like so many people around, and he is just so overwhelmed.
He's a bit shook.
He's not only shook, but this is like his worst nightmare.
I won't get you to speak now, Elgrin, but if there's anything you can remember on the subject, I would like to hear it. Anytime. And then I'll give him a nod.
You can come by later. I've been doing some more cartography.
Have you now? Well, that is a topical situation. I was planning on visiting tomorrow with the rest of the crew.
He nods awkwardly.
Very well then. And then I'll get up and say to Wayora, congratulations, Mayor.
She nods towards you. Well, I have to say, Rufus, it's really thanks to you. I mean, I know the things that went wrong back in the Glinting province, but things are better now. Things are looking up for us. I just hope the people there aren't suffering too greatly.
No. Let's save this conversation for tomorrow. I'm planning on having a word, if I may.
She nods and turns, and you can see her being kind of swept up in the festivities, being the kind of main person, talking to the different villagers and greeting people and thanking people. And she kind of moves off. Elgrin and Fleet, as well as some armed escort, walking with them.
Cool. And then I'll sort of just nod goodbye, and I'll make my way to the crystal pool.
As you leave, you hear a kind of tap and hobble behind you. Rufus, wait, please. And he kind of steps forwards. You can see Waylon is now kind of being helped by a couple of the guard.
Waylon, did you just say please?
I did. Seemingly in the moment I forgot myself. I am on my way to clean and wash my sores. I seem to have soiled myself somewhat in these festivities. I must say, though, I want to apologize. I am better than this, and I should not have allowed myself to be fooled by that dragon priest or the copy of. And I'm also sorry that I could not bring myself to tell you. I was standing on the stage for some time with the knowledge that I had, but it was in fear that this creature would strike out at the loved ones he had captured.
Waylon, that's quite okay. Fear does many things to many people, and you should not be ashamed.
Very well. I must be going, but Rufus, be careful. If you have enemies such as that, there's no telling where they might be or what they could do.
Don't worry. I am aware. There are a vast number of enemies out there that... Don't worry, I understand.
He nods and begins to move off, being kind of helped
Okay.
by the things.
Cool.
I don't think
I'll
I don't
just
think
carry
roll
on.
20's frozen, Mike. I think you might just be high. Yeah.
No, Rolo.
What's happened?
Oh,
Oh, I've
yeah,
frozen.
Rolo, you frozen, dude.
Boys, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just your video. Maybe turn it off and on again. Your video.
Carnage.
You've just got a very stern face.
Yeah,
She's
it's a real.
like
It's a
saying
real.
roll.
Real. It's called the Varamarkian
It's a real
frown.
glare.
Let's meta quickly, guys.
Yes.
Who we were last week? We said someone was potentially working with Thingy, with Oshkar.
It was the
Nick.
doppelganger.
Or the doppelganger.
Oh, Nyx. Yeah.
No, Nyx, right?
Yeah.
Silver thread.
The alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oshkar
Uh,
briefly dropped hints.
Do we have a way of seeing if they're still around in Ingmiri? Might be a high priority. So we're not all together as a group, but
I mean, Zook doesn't know yet.
okay.
Oh yeah, Zook is unaware of that fact.
Oh, okay. Woo. Who found that out? Just remind me
anyone
last week.
anyone that thinks their character could have put two and two together that was there in the shop. So Ruthus
In the shop.
So Ruthus, Richter, and Dutch.
Oh man, we've both got wisdom 5, so it's probably Richter.
Okay, well that's fine. I mean, yep. Draug doesn't know anything about it, so that's fine.
There's probably intelligence to work that out, wouldn't it?
No, it's definitely perception, Wiz, isn't it?
I don't know. I
Or an
mean,
insight,
I
maybe?
don't. Yeah.
That's Wiz as well, insight, yeah.
I can RP as Richter then in that case. So Zook, you enter Rinnick's shop, and the small bell kind of ding rings as you walk within.
As I sort of glide in, and my head's kind of on the looking at the floor, as I sort of turn and glance at the body in the corner and go, "Oh no! Come on, Zook, you can do this." And I look up at it and I go, "Oh, what have you got yourself into, Rinnick?" And I glide over and I kneel down. And I sort of float down onto my knees in front of him. Oh, why did this happen to you? You're a good gnome, a good friend. I start to roll up his sleeves and look at the veins on his wrists, and pull up his eyelids, and I'm going to try and determine the cause of death.
Roll me a medicine check, please.
It is medicine. Oh dear, that's not great. It's only a 10.
He's clearly been poisoned. He's had some kind of reaction to some venom or poison. His skin is swollen and blotchy and red, to the point where he probably suffocated. But you can see blood just around the edge of his mouth, and when you open his eyelids, his eyes are bloodshot, with blood actually kind of on the inside of the eyelid. Just on the inside of his ears, there's a little bit of blood. And you can see that he probably was in a lot of pain. His insides, something must have been happening, to which the blood would have been visible.
Looking at it,
a cruel death.
Seeing this, Zook kind of clutches his staff tighter, and the bark starts to crack, and all the plants around him start to willow and die and become just completely devoid of moisture and life. He goes, I have to make amends. I have to bring him back. I have to find Kunda. I can do this. I can bring him back. It's my fault. It's my fault you're gone. And then suddenly his mind sparks. He thinks, maybe I can find out more. And he like lays his hand onto Rinnick's like forehead, like pulling his sort of receded hair back a little bit, and breathes in deep and pushes down into the ground, and a green pulse goes whoop, throughout the room, kind of bursting the plants back into life. And I cast Detect Poison and Disease to try and find what poison is actually in his system.
Okay. Just checking the exact wording on the spell. The aura washes out from you, and it's similar to that kind of detect magic where you can sense these kind of areas of light, but instead of like a glowing light that comes to you, it's more of like an intense feeling, almost a smell or a ping, an actual physical sensation upon your skin. You can sense many different poisons and things within the shop. You can sense some minute details of some poisons within 3 vials upon a desk just to the side. One of which matches the same sense that's coming from Rinnick. But it's only a minute amount of the poison within that vial.
Do I recognize the kind of poison it is?
Do I the kind of poisoned creature and disease in such case? Okay, so you would know the poison affecting. There's still kind of residue of it within his body, and there seems to be a mix of poisons. One being purple worm poison, and the other one, is it that one? One being purple worm poison, and the other one being wyvern poison.
Okay.
You would know that. In fact, you can roll me an alchemist or herbalist check.
I'll roll a herbalist because then I get to add proficiency.
Yeah.
That's a 3 plus 10, so 13.
You don't know the exact details of either, but you know they're some of the most potent and toxic poisons that ravage the body. They both are required to be not ingested, but actually physically, like through injury, so injected or cut and placed into the wounds.
Okay, and then so knowing that, can I have a look on Rinnick's body to see if there was any marks, any puncture wounds?
Yes, down as you roll one of the sleeves up, in his kind of the bend of his elbow, there is kind of bruising where he was injected, and you can see, I'll say with the medicine check, you can see by a skilled professional.
I don't recognize the kind of method at all. It could be anyone.
Could be anyone. You can make me an investigation check.
That was so nearly a natural 20, but it's a 16.
It's hard to determine, but it seems clean and precise, straight into the vein. And all you can kind of gather more than that would be that it doesn't appear like they struggled. it would not be as precise if Rinnick were to struggle. So perhaps Rinnick was already unconscious or was tricked and agreed to it. You can't tell. But he didn't fight back to take this. That's kind of as much as you can get with a 16.
Having done that, I'd probably start looking around to see if anything was amiss. I mean, obviously I've noticed the 3 vials with the strange hint of poison, but just giving Rinnick's shop a thorough looking over.
At this point, Richter kind of enters. Zook.
Sorry, Richter.
I'm
a little on edge.
I'm sorry. You're obviously. I just thought you should know. Oshkar, he. Well, first of all, I'm sorry. I'm sorry we couldn't get here quicker.
It's not your fault, Richter. It's not.
I'm still sorry. And secondly, Oshkar said... I mean, we missed his game. He mentioned something to do with these vials being a choice. But he also mentioned that wealth could buy any man. And that he had paid someone to do this. Someone had been bought out, someone we know. And it didn't sound like he meant the doppelganger.
Someone we know? It was a betrayal of who could have... Zook's eyes drop.
He used the word betrayal.
Zook just sinks to his knees. Why? No, it can't be. The only person that knows how to concoct such a thing is... And then he starts to shake, and all of the plants, every single one, wilts and dies in the room.
Richter gulps.
And the lights darken. Nix. It has to be Nix. Richter, we need to find that gnome. If he's still here, would he still be here? Maybe he's gone. He wouldn't stay. He'd know. He'd know that I'd know. Oh God, this is a mess. Oh, what do we do?
I don't know whether Richter is out of spells, but I know he cast a fair few locate person already today. So I'm not sure whether he can cast it again. We'll have to sort of wait. You can message Aiden, see where he is.
Yeah.
Or someone can.
I think I need to go see Kunda about those oils, the unguents. Zook will go back over to Rinnick and just get his bone knife out and just cut off a lock of his hair, get some vine, sort of some twine, and tie it up and shove it in his bag. And he'll look down, put a hand on his forehead, and it's like, there's still hope for you yet. Richter, see that everything's secure. And then he's going to float out, start heading to try and find Kunda, basically.
Wait, Zook, there's 2 guards outside saying that Rufus has told them to take the body to your grove.
Oh, yes, that's fine. I'll allow that.
I'll go with them.
Thank you, Richter. Stay strong.
Richter moves off, or you leave, and Richter is there with Rinnick, gonna kind of escort the body to your grove. Where are you headed to, Zook?
To try and find Kunda.
Okay. You get to the Fortune's Rest, Varian, and it's been shut because everyone's been in the town square, but Grim opens up and there's sort of a crowd with you, a buzzing crowd, and they all begin to enter. You light the candles and people begin ordering and queuing. Are you going to work behind the bar and help out Grim? It's basically just him, a solo job.
I just turned on the Elwyn Forest music by mistake. Sorry, hold on. I was trying to play my own music to get me in the vibe, and I've turned on the Elwyn
Forest. It's really annoying that doesn't work.
It's all right.
Is it because you've turned something off?
I think I fucked something up, but basically when I go to audio output, it's just got no. It just says none and won't let me drop down off that.
You can click reconnect at the bottom of that.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. It's a buzzkill, mate. Never mind.
That is annoying.
It is things playing, but going through glitched and just going blip blip like that.
That's really
because I can see I've got like on a MacBook Pro, it's got the top bar sort of thing, and it's showing that something's playing. Just tripping through it. Never mind. Anyway, so basically, I am going to. I'm going to just see that the inn is bustling and that there's good trade being made. I'm not going to work on the bar, but Farian doesn't do that. But he is going to go upstairs and do some investigation of his quarters because he knows that the shapeshifter was rummaging around in there. So I'm going to go and do an investigation to see what I can find from there.
So that's where you broke out from. So you originally broke out of the chest. And you were within your chambers, but you just ran quickly to kind of escape and see where you were, realizing you were in your own tavern.
I see. Okay.
You head upstairs and you can see that the door to your chamber is slightly ajar.
Yep.
Upon pushing it open slowly, you hear a tick 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 quick and a snap.
Can I quickly jump backwards?
I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, please.
Let's have a look at what that was. Oh, that's not bad. So I got an 18.
An 18. You jump back. Rubble and masonry explode out the side as your room, where your room was, detonates outwards.
Shit.
You are flung back against the wall, taking half the amount of damage because you've succeeded.
Oh.
I've got silly music on. I need to change this to something different.
The Gypsies' rest has been sabotaged.
Take half of this. What health are you on?
I'm on 75.
Oh, you healed yourself, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I healed myself, yeah.
You take 29 halved, so 15 points of bludgeoning damage.
How much wings?
Followed by 2 points of fire damage.
Fuck,
You hear screams from below. Luckily, your room is kind of not over the tap room. It's off to the side. It's one of the nicer, it's the bigger room at the back.
Not anymore.
It's probably above part of where the kitchen is. Oh, Josh, nice and mead. You kind of cough. You're covered in bits of rubble and dust, but luckily you managed to jump out of the way. You see faintly on the ground, or you wouldn't see anymore, but you would see in the kind of imprint on your eyes, the flash, a sigil of some kind, a flame kind of rune sigil. And you look out through your doorway, and where your room was is just the open, no wall, just open street. Some people, as well as Grim, come rushing up the stairs, look at you, and then look at the hole where your room was.
Shit! Sabotage! Conspiracy! Get the builders! This place needs repairing immediately! And I'm just dazed as fuck. I'm gonna go down and just
Grim runs over and begins helping you up, down back to the tap room.
I go down to the tap room. I just pick up a jug of ale and I just tip it over my head just to sort of wash the shit off me.
The tap room is people are leaving, and it's completely quiet. The band that have set up in the corner are just like completely not there. And as everyone stares at you pouring ale on yourself, some bits like one of the timbers snap and fall down, and people are like, and everyone begins leaving, like putting their drinks down. Some people are like grabbing their drinks and taking them with them out of the tavern.
Okay. I'm going to say, fear not. There's been a brief disturbance in the upper quarters, but the ale will still flow. And
roll me a persuasion check.
Not my speciality. Oh, no, it's wisdom. It's wisdom, isn't it? Okay, all right.
No, it's charisma for persuasion.
Get out of it. Yes, it is. No, hang on, it isn't it? Oh, no, I'm looking at perception. It is. Shit. Persuasion's charisma. Shit. Okay. Roll the D21. Oh, that's not great. Oh. That's not what I needed. That's a 5.
No, people ignore you and completely begin to leave. Everyone else, every other gypsy, you hear an explosion in the direction of the Fortune's Rest.
Turning and heading there.
Yep, I suppose so.
Does Dust hear anything in the pub?
You were like nearly there, still on your way.
Oh.
You're about to get to the Brawling Boar, and then there's like an explosion noise. Eventually,
what was in my quarters as far as like our possessions and our stuff?
Nothing of yours that was vital. You don't know currently where your dad's sword is.
My bastard sword.
However, you do have your ring. The ring was left on a table by the side, and when you escaped, you saw the ring there and snatched it up.
That is as well.
It was as the ring was there as if by some divine fate. As the north wind begins to blow cold about you in the tavern, through the open window, and the Bahamut reminding you of your just course. And you all arrive together at the Fortune's Rest, seeing Varian sitting on a stool, kind of blackened and dusty and sticky with ale, and Grim kind of just washing cups and like looking over at you, like.
Varian, what happened here?
Things have gone very ill, my friends.
That's evidence.
There's been sabotage in the Rest. Someone has rigged some incarnate device in my quarters, and I have been exploded.
Would it be?
So let me get this straight, Varian. You recently break your bonds, and you learned that a stranger was living in your quarters, and I suppose you opened the door without checking it first.
It's true. It is true, Elf.
Draug looks very unimpressed.
These are the kind of repercussions I'd expect for someone that shield bashes anyone that passes by.
It is true. It is true my conduct was unguarded. But do I deserve this, to be blown up in my own tavern?
Where is he now? Where exactly is he now?
Varian?
Yeah.
He's sitting on a stool in the middle of the tap room. No one else is there except for Grim.
Can I kick the 2 front legs out from the first bit of the stool, please?
Make an athletics check for me, please, Dutch.
So that's a 19 plus 9.
Dutch squats and spins, low kicking the both of the stool legs out, cracking.
God,
Varian, you just kind of snap one way and then fall onto your bum on the floor, a bit like Winnie the Pooh, like oof.
I'm not gonna hit you because you sat down, but that's for gin.
This is no time for this. My tavern, our tavern.
To hell with your damn tavern, Dragon Priest. On the morrow, I expect that you'll have that ritual prepared in order to save poor Jin's soul.
No. I had to have been there within a minute.
Check your other spells, dude.
Well,
There's some other ones.
And with that,
Farron,
Draug will head upstairs. He's going to go and have a
Farron,
poke around.
your conduct these last few days has been truly out of order. Are you sure the doppelganger is gone?
No.
Is this your true self?
I'm just gonna like they're not Suncrest, and I'm gonna raise my ring into the air and call for the light of Bahamut to just fire through it. It is I.
The light
He's drunk as well.
The light is like significantly dim. It's like, and a really limp north wind kind of blows some of the dust on the ground across the tavern.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's something, I guess.
I am out
I
of
suppose
order.
we better investigate.
Okay.
Was anyone hurt? Human?
I'm a human, you fool.
I know, I was addressing you.
I am injured here. I took damage from the fire.
Okay, we can see you're hurt, but was anyone else hurt that wasn't
I know
clearly
not.
enough?
I'm going to slosh another tankard of ale over my head, like to try and revive myself a bit.
You waterboard yourself a little.
I'm just getting grimier with dust and ale, just like dripping down my beard. Just like.
Brother Draug, you make your way slowly upstairs, and you can see the last door on the left is just a broken archway. As you begin kind of going down the corridor, it does creak, and you can feel that the supports probably aren't that safe. But you're nimble enough, and approaching the doorway, you peek round, and there's like a fragment of the floor left. It's splintered floorboards, and just the open town ahead. And you can see a couple houses like on the back of the street where the kind of garden outside patio of the Fortune's Rest meets the other houses. There's a couple of people standing on the street just like looking up at the hole in the house, and there's a few guards that have sort of gathered outside. There is nothing left in the room. All of the bits of masonry and wood have splintered out and fallen down into the garden.
Am I able to like sort of drop down into the remnants of here and just start having a little poke around?
Yeah, quite easily done. You stealthily manage to kind of hop off, drop down and land. Make me an investigation check as you kind of search and pick through the rubble.
Natural one.
Oh no, what did you get?
A 1.
Natural one.
Oh.
Serves me right for using Rupert's dice.
You
Give it back.
you pick through the rubble, but it's just splintered wood and masonry, and you just kind of kick it about with your feet. A couple guards come over and ask what's going on, and you sort of just, I guess, explain. There was an explosion.
Shrug.
You shrug. They kind of roll their eyes and move off, but they keep their distance, and a couple of them kind of stay there just to watch.
So tolerant of our shit.
I'll jump back up and head back down.
Okay. What are you all doing, gypsies?
What's the verdict, Dylan?
Oh. The verdict is there's no room left upstairs.
Ah.
Oh, fuck.
So no evidence of the doppelganger then? Well, not anymore.
Well, perhaps if someone had taken a little care when they entered initially, there might be something left to find, but unfortunately not.
Wait, Gypsy. So can I sketch out in the dust on the floor the sigil that I saw?
Yeah, you can quite easily. Varian draws a sigil. In fact, roll me a straight intelligence check to recount how effective it's going to be. to an extent, you're able to remember it. This is just if you can really remember it in more vivid detail.
That's not bad. That's 18.
You've seen magical runes before, and being someone who is practiced in the magical arts, you recognize. Well, you don't recognize it, but you draw it out with pretty good detail. Certain kind of runic symbols and inflections that are on it.
Is it a symbol that I recognize?
I recognise it. Can I check my knowledge
You
of?
can do an Arcana check if you would like to.
What's
to
Arcana
identify
coming
it.
as? That wisdom.
No, it's intelligence. Anyone can do an Arcana check if they feel
I'll have
like
a
their
little bit.
character would know.
I got a 6.
Seen some
I
runes.
got a 13.
That's a rune.
5.
I got 5. I've made some marks, but I don't understand them.
Looks like a pigeon.
Say it again. Varian, what did you get?
Not good. I got
Not
a
good.
5.
And Dylan?
13.
13. The runes that are inscribed on it are similar in essence to the devilish sigils that you saw within the palace in Varamok. However, they're not devilish. They are similar in terms of being glyphs of warding. There are such spells that can create glyphs, and from them you can imbue them with specific details of when to be triggered and what exactly the trigger is. There are certain spells that you can then cast into the glyph to be triggered at a time, or there are certain explosive triggers that exist within the glyph, but probably a very high level glyph that they cast.
So we're at a loose end, it would seem.
I felt like we
These
were
creatures.
in a place where we had some inkling of what our next move might be, but I'm sure you're all the same, but this has kind of thrown me.
Well, I know what I must do now to appease my god. Take me to the body of that poor wretch who I dispatched earlier.
Of Jin, he would have been taken to the grove.
I'm just going to get off, dust myself down, and say, Zook,
Yes.
you are wise in the ways of this grove.
It's my
Take-
grove.
Take me to it. I beg of thee.
Look. 1, you don't tell me what to do. 2, if you go in there and you're an ass, then there's trees in there that will squash you. So you need to play by my rules and do what I say. Secondly, no snooping around. Okay? In fact, I think that was thirdly. But whatever. Do not touch anything. Do not fiddle. Do not cast any spells. I do not want Bahamut and his dragon appearing. Okay? It'll upset the order of things.
Ruthus
Listen,
is
my
only
friend.
just- how is it possible that the body is already at the grove? If Ruthus
I
is
asked a couple of the guard to take it to the grove.
Listen, do you wish this to remain a body, or do you wish it to be flesh and blood and walking around under Bahamut's light?
I don't pretend to know much about the divine magic, but do you have the capabilities to do such a thing?
I am not just a simple innkeeper.
I mean,
I am the
in
warden
terms
of
the fact that
Bahamut's holy light. And I'm going to raise my ring up again, and I'm hoping this time it's going to bust a little stronger.
Minorly stronger.
I mean, the fact that we have recently had an encounter with what was Jin. Do you have as far as I'm aware, you lose some of your capabilities as you use different spells. I think that's how it is for myself. I believe it's the same for you as well, Varian.
Not going into this.
Do you possess the strength to be able to do such a thing?
All I need is 1 diamond.
Do you have a diamond that would fit the requirement?
I think we did have one in our collective inventory.
Yeah, your video's gone.
It said
About
low,
that.
it said low battery
Low
and then
battery.
it died.
Oh, that's fine. I'll sort it out.
Yeah, no worries.
Keep till.
Also, Varian, just make sure that you'd already prepared that if you had today. If not, you'll
What,
have
resurrection?
To wait, you'll have to wait until tomorrow if you hadn't had it prepared.
Has a day not passed?
No, you haven't slept yet.
Okay, well, I would sleep at the grove next to the body.
Creepy.
This is the fucker I shredded, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, yeah.
Okay, listen.
I need a diamond.
Jesus.
Warren, this is how it's going to be. You wait here. I will go and go about my business. I will come collect you and take you to the grove when I'm ready. But considering the latest explosion, you're not going in there without me. Understood?
Very well, my furry friend.
I'm not fur. What? I'm going.
Yeah. Do you possess a diamond worth at least 1,000 gold?
I swear to God, we bought some with the platinum.
You definitely bought some, but that was in the bag of holding, which is lost,
Fuck.
which you do not have anymore.
Perhaps we're getting ahead of ourselves. If we could have Jin's body placed somewhere until we are able to acquire an item of such wealth, and then when the time comes, we will be able to do this thing.
Suncrest. You are wealthy in the ways of platinum. And if I do not mistake, it was my doing that gained you that platinum. Do you have in your person a diamond of which I require?
I have the platinum, but I have not the diamond.
Can
It's
a
all in the
diamond
bag
be-
of holding.
Can a diamond be purchased in Ingmiri?
Perhaps you'd have to talk to the right people. Maybe Kunda.
It's unlikely that a diamond worth 1,000 exists in Ingmiri. However, there are other places in which you probably could purchase them, more civilized places with more trade going to them.
Okay. Where can I do a sort of investigation of my geographical knowledge to work out where the nearest sort of big
We can just
city
tell
is?
you, Varian.
Tell me this where this thing will be found.
Rufus, we intend to go to Soul Reach. Do you believe we could acquire an item?
Soulreach is a large city. No doubt we could find something of that quality there.
Just a quick meta on this one.
Yeah.
I'm planning to bust resurrection on this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do I need all of his body, or do I just need a bit of it?
It says you touch a dead creature.
Yeah.
So you kind of need.
But it says it heals all. It heals all wounds. Now, can I just completely re-heal him from one slice of him, essentially?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, he's
I'm
fucking
pretty sure.
ham. He's literally sliced ham.
I mean, it closes all mortal wounds and restores any missing body parts.
Okay, so in that case, I can just take a slice of him, and we can take it on the road.
I think out of respect for those that knew him, we should leave him here in Ingmiri and return.
Listen
once
to
we
me.
have
I will leave the majority of him here. I just require one small slice.
I understand that, but listen, if we resurrect him on the road, then he'll be more of a burden upon us. If we have things to do, we might as well see if we can find this diamond and elsewhere, and then return when we have the time to bring him back. I do not know the specifics of this ritual, but is there a time limit on how long we can wait? Or
We have a century, my man.
well, then Jin will be fine for a few more days, perhaps even a few more weeks. But we can bring him back, and you can repent for this thing that you've done in that town.
Very well.
So,
Thank you, Varian.
you, Zook, you're heading to the Grove.
I'm heading to find Kunda.
You're heading to find Kunda.
Car.
Is anyone going with Zook?
Yeah.
Okay, Rufus will. Dutch, you want to head back to the Brawling Boar?
Yes, please.
Okay.
And Dylan and Draug will go as well.
Dylan, Dutch, Drow.
Dylan Draug. You're in such an in-between stage at the moment where
Yeah.
people don't know what to call you. Okay, so Dylan and Dutch are heading that way, and both Rufus and Zook are heading that way. Richter has gone to the Grove. Rufus and Zook, you approach your fort on the kind of southern peninsula of that island, and the some of the gold cloaks kind of come towards you and greet you, Rufus, and one of your sort of captains of some of the militia approaches, and he asks you of now that you are no longer mayor, who will be in charge of them.
Is it who is now? I thought Rowan was also like the captain there.
So Rowan is in charge of the Watch, which is the town guard, and like the kind of militia within the town. But your fort has like a separate garrison. You have a garrison of like soldiers and a garrison of archers.
How many?
We rolled for it. I think you have like 100 dudes or something. It's like quite a lot.
Yeah, there's like a squad of archers and some shit
and some other guys.
Some foot soldiers. Well, soldier, as patron, I still intend to have my hand here in the fort. But while I'm away, it's probably worth discussing amongst yourselves who you want to lead it.
They kind of nod amongst themselves, and they say they're going to begin making arrangements. They already have quite a good like hierarchy within, but they'd like to hear your input on maybe someone more seasoned that could take charge. Like Nathea,
Okay.
Nathea often kind of takes charge in terms of managerial stuff, but they seem to want someone with experience like yourself that can kind of represent the fort in your absence.
Some martial prowess. Okay, yeah, I'll think about it.
Okay. You head into the fort towards where Kunda's chambers are and his workshop. And as you do, you see a very blustered, red-faced Kunda, his dwarven form kind of running down the hall back towards you. He's not there! He's nowhere to be found!
Who do you think could have taken him?
I don't fucking know, but he's gone.
Would he just wander off? Did he ever express curiosity?
Never.
Say the word?
He wouldn't wander off. Whoever has hold of him, they have a powerful technology.
Well, we know who the culprit is, don't we? It's Oshkar. Somehow he got his hands on him during the chaos.
Oshkar, that bastard. I always knew it was bad news as soon as he turned up in the court of Thaldaral. He ain't no Thaldorian.
It does beg the question of who else was in the crowd that could have aided him.
Do you think there was more than just the doppelganger?
Well, when we were too late to reach Rinnick, he did mention that he had help. He'd paid someone. But who knows, he could have paid many people, bribed them, blackmailed them.
Well, I know that someone close to my heart has turned and been bought out by coin. Nyx, silver thread, forest gnome of my old burrow. He's betrayed me. He's betrayed us. He's betrayed Rinnick. He's a murderer. Why not a thief? I fail to see how all of this could have been organized by one person or thing, whatever a doppelganger is. I believe it likely that he had help. Kunder, I know this is an upsetting time. I know
It's more than upsetting. We
It's
risked
distressing.
ourselves escaping Thaldarau to save that one from getting into the wrong hands, and now we bring him here, and he's safe for so long. Oh, we did our best. It was only a matter of time. I knew it would happen.
Kunder,
Kunder, I give you my word. We will return him.
We'll
Even if you
do our best.
It'll be too late. The technology.
What is it? What do you fear?
I didn't create Anchor, you know that. Anchor is different. He is conscious, he is sentient. But he is made of naught but wood and stone and leather. There is no flesh to him. Naught but iron. There are no organs. Not that, but bands and straps of hide. Aye, there
This
is
is
a
why I
magic
burned
core.
the book.
Indeed. But someone could
In
just
the
take
wrong
him
hands.
apart and learn his secrets. And create more. Create many.
You think
Be
he's
like
gone?
the Shivra, but on a much worse scale.
Aye.
Do you think he's gone back to Thaldarau?
If it's Oshkar
someone.
took him. Oshkar, although deals in Thaldarau, deals many other places. I wouldn't even know where to start. He could be on a different continent. And he just
I'm sorry.
hits the stone wall with his fist. Arrgh, curse you, Oshkar Silvermark. I will have my vengeance.
I know it's not the best of times, but if there is something that you could do to help me, you know I asked for unguents, oils, rare sort of liquids
Aye.
of some considerable value. Do you have anything like that?
He turns and ushers you into the workshop. I have a few things. Aye, and he kind of rifles through. He pulls out a small pouch. They might not be exactly as natural as you might want, but they'll do the job. There's oils, there's precious things in here. He hands you over.
Kunder, I believe that all things come from something natural. Thank you. You don't know how much this will help. What does he give me?
He gives you what you can kind of essentially use as the material components required.
For one or two times?
Only one. Yeah.
One.
You'll
okay.
have to. They're not like exact, and you'll have to do a little bit of work to take some things out and
Maybe siphon. Yeah.
exactly. But you have enough for one. Rufus, he walks over and takes your bow off the wall and passes it over to you, and you can see he must have worked tirelessly on this to get it done for you in time. It's supple and oiled. It's been fitted with fresh string.
Fresh string.
It
Nice.
It looks nice. It looks really nice. It's got the same kind of figure to it. It has the nice kind of longbow shape that doesn't curl. It's not too fancy. It's a sturdy man's longbow.
Nice. Great. Cool. I thank him.
He-
Well, actually, I take it from him in a dazed expression, and then as he gives it to me, I come to, And then I look up at Kunda. Kunda, I've had a thought. If I were to bring you the remains of the device that was attached to Wayland, by examining it, would you be able to tell where it came from?
Ooh, I might take a bit of looking, but I reckon I could.
Very well, I will fetch it for you.
Dutch and Dylan, you head to the Brawling Boar, and it is bustling inside. There is music playing. You can see they have built a new kind of floor to the tavern above. Before, the tavern was kind of a squat building that had a long section to it where all of the rooms were for the inn. But there's been a section built on top. And there's a wood carving of like a boar with giant tusks sticking out from the side. And you can see the red curtains at the top with candlelight flickering in them, and occasionally some flesh is kind of moves past the window, and you can see kind of like shadowy movement from upstairs. Inside, it's just like people drinking and having fun. You can see there's a couple people on a table with surrounded arm wrestling, and there's coin being flung about. It's an extreme contrast to Varian's tavern.
It sounds like fun.
It looks
Dutch.
like a lot of fun. Yeah.
Dutch, you've always been better at the socializing than myself. So have a drink on me, and I'll palm off 3 golds to Dutch. In the meantime, I'll find myself an alternative entrance, and I'll sort of slink off round the back.
Yeah, I'm just going to go through the front door.
Okay. What's your aim?
What?
What I would like to find, like their kind of, I'd like to find their sort of back office and have a snoot around, but I want to go around the back, maybe climb up through a window or something like that.
Okay.
I'm going to cast invisibility on myself when I get around to the back.
Okay. And Dutch, what's your plan?
Well, knowing that these people obviously came here with money, and a lot of the women who have come here are refugees with nothing, I want to make sure no one's being exploited. But also, I want to make a point of when I buy anything, paying in silver.
Okay.
Because I fucking know.
So you're trying to kind of gather intel from chatting and drinking with people. So, Brother Draug, make me a stealth check with advantage because you're invisible.
Okay.
And Dutch, make me a persuasion check. But I'll say with advantage, as this is kind of your area of specialty. Like, you're very comfortable and familiar within a tavern, drinking with people, playing games. That sort of it harks back to your background.
Yeah.
What did you get?
Okay. I got a 28.
28. And Dutch?
12.
A 12. You spend part of the evening there, kind of drinking, and maybe like half an hour goes past. You learn a couple things. You chat with some of the patrons who have maybe been upstairs. They all speak very highly of it. There's a lot of choice. There's a lot of different customs for different customers. And there's one person that you finally get kind of drunk enough to tell you more about the people upstairs and you know whether they're kind of happy, but no one particularly says anything untoward about any of the people upstairs being like exploited. It seems that they're making good money. They're treated well. They've got their own rooms. And seems like that Vargrain and Scars are managing a pretty good brothel, as far as you can tell. Dylan, you sneak around the back, climbing up through indeed a back window, and eventually finding your way to what probably would be Vargrain or Skars' office. You sit by the door for a while, and you can feel the presence of two individuals with it. And you eavesdrop for a little bit, and you can hear Vargrain and Skars drinking and kind of chatting to each other. And they seem to be talking about what happened in the market square. They're kind of laughing, kind of at your expense. They don't say anything of detail about stuff that they wouldn't necessarily know. Like, they don't know. They kind of are saying like, "Oh, did you hear that? Like, that werewolf fella was torn into bits." Some of the guards were talking about it. They actually say that they've heard that already, kind of through the grapevine, that Rinnick has died. They didn't know his name, but they say that old herbalist fella's died. And Skars kind of raises a glass, and you hear the clinking of a glass as they make some kind of toast. You sit for a while, and that's about all you kind of gain.
Okay. I would like to. Yeah, I think I'll just wait until they. I'll wait. So am I able to like wait outside? Is this on the ground floor or on the first floor?
It's on the ground floor. It's along where the kind of the inn rooms are. One of the rooms they're obviously using as an office.
Am I able to find like a more permanent hiding place to wait for them to leave?
Yeah. Roll me another stealth check.
Okay. Exactly the same, 28.
After probably about another half an hour, you hear them kind of finish a bottle, and Vargrain says that he's going to go downstairs and find another, and Scar says, I'll join you, we'll see how it's going, and they both make their way, sorry, not downstairs, back to the tap room, shutting, and you can hear locking the door behind them.
Okay.
After a short time, you don't hear any more noise.
Okay, I'll go and unlock the door.
Make
check
me
for traps as well.
Well, first then make me a investigation check for the traps.
That will be a 18.
You look over the lock and the door. It doesn't appear trapped.
Okay, I'll try a thieves' tools. 23.
You pick your way in, and you hear a click. Easy lock. You unlock, push the door open, and inside is what appears to be quite a plush kind of lounge slash. Oh, hey, we've got a Richter.
Hey, Richter.
I think he's home, so he might have some internet issues, but we'll see how it goes.
No worries.
You see, quite a lavish workroom. There's lots of like silks and drapes. They've really decked this place up. They're clearly making quite a bit of money now, and they're not afraid to spend it. Within the room, there are like a few kind of like loungy looking chairs and sofas and things, as well as like a desk in the corner with papers and things on it. There's also a bookshelf.
I'd like to look on like the desk and look for just anything that might be sort of incriminating, anything like that.
Make me an investigation.
Anything that might link them to the recent events. 26.
You rifle through the papers, and you take some time, still listening out for anyone to approach. The papers look to be a lot of them contracts for their workers, A lot of it looks to be kind of like deals that they've made, trade deals for ale. It appears like, looking through this, they're doing a lot of trade with Thaldaral. Clearly they have contacts there now that they're managing to source various things from. But nothing, there's no papers or anything that seem to relate to the goings-on today.
Okay. And there's no, like, I didn't find any secret, find any secret compartments.
You pull open, no, you look across it, there's a drawer you pull open, there's like quite a nice reed pen in there. There's a few other notes, but nothing that relates to what you're asking.
Okay, so finally I'd like to, is there like a loose, is it floorboards in here?
Yeah, it is floorboards.
Would I be able to like find like a loose floorboard?
You can roll me an
I might be able to pry open.
Check.
24.
You search around the room thoroughly, and at this point you know you're probably in there a little too long, and you're spending your time.
Okay.
But you do come across one floorboard that you manage to pry up. You reach within, and you can feel just kind of the clinking and jingling of coins. Just a lot of coins that are buried beneath this floorboard.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take a few. I'll take like, I don't know, like a reasonable amount.
You take a couple handfuls. You feel them in your hand. You're still kind of unfamiliar about what these might be, but they feel like the size and shape of gold coins. They don't feel like platinum. There's some silver there, but there aren't.
Okay.
To your kind of like senses, it seems like mainly gold.
Sure.
You pocket a couple handfuls.
And wouldn't you know it? Oh, well, yeah, that's right. I need to take a shit, and I need to take a shit in that in that floorboard.
Okay, you squat down and you begin to, like a dog, take a shit into this hole in the floor. Roll me a perception check.
Okay, with advantage because I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
That will be a 19.
A 19. You can hear Vargrain and Scars, the familiar voice of them, beginning to return, and you quickly pull up your breeches and roll me one final stealth check as you leave.
Okay. And am I able to like quickly relock, or is that?
You can attempt to stay longer to try and relock it.
Yeah, I'll try. Well, that wasn't quite so good, but still a 25 stealth check.
Okay, you move quietly, pushing the floorboard back down, over to the door, closing it behind you. You can either leave now or attempt to lock it, but it may be risky. If you roll badly, you're going to be stuck there and potentially seen locking the door.
I am invisible.
Yep.
Okay, I'll try it.
Okay, make me a thieves' tools check.
Oh yeah, 28.
28. Click, done in one, and you off down the corridor, out of the window you came through and into the night.
Okay, cool.
Very well done.
Nice.
Deuce dropped.
That's what you call a shit and run.
You move round to the front and you can see your brother staggering out with bottle in hand, rambling about, finding out pretty much nothing, but he looks like he's had a really great time. You can see a couple of people like rubbing their arms. Dutch, you during your time in the tavern, you've managed to win yourself 50 silver. You can write that down.
Hey!
And meta-wise, Dylan, you can write down 22 gold for the amount you managed to grab with your hands.
Cool.
And we're going to have a short break. 5-minute break. 5-minute break.
Sounds good.
I'll leave the stream on because it's weird if we turn off. But yeah. I'm going to make myself a quick drink. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Has anyone got a count on who's watching? How many people are watching?
I haven't looked, actually. Hopefully some. I don't know.
Some?
I want everyone who's got Twitch to name their Twitch chat after their name.
Oh yeah, it's all random names, isn't it? We don't know who's us and who's random people.
Yeah.
That's pretty classic.
Yeah. Also, someone's turned their camera off.
Only one person.
No, we can't hear you, Aiden. We can't hear you yet. You might need to set your audio input.
Could be me.
Where the audio button is, there is a little arrow next to it on
Okay.
phone. Yeah,
Bathroom break.
there must be a way.
Varian turned his camera off, so it's fucked the chat.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, we'll have fucked everything. Pushed. Oh, there he is. Yeah, don't turn your your video off.
Anyone hear that?
Yay, Aiden.
I can't hear you. I had to unplug my headset.
Weird. Yeah, it must be the headset. It's overriding it or something.
I mean, I've got my thing at max volume, and you're basically whispering. So I'm not sure what to do.
Find some different headphones that don't have a microphone.
I ain't got no other headphones.
Good. Nice.
So yeah, I'll have the headphones in, and if I want to speak, I guess I'll take them out. We'll see what we can do.
We're on a break, so try and figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Oh, you're frozen.
Right, I'm gonna make a quick drink. I'm gonna mute us on the stream. Oh, hey there, son. We're back on stream. Back on stream, my son.
Oh, son.
Oh, son.
Oh, father. Oh, son.
How's it feeling, Rolo, to be back in the seat again? The
Joyous.
seat of Varian.
It's powerful. Powerful energy.
I forgot what a pure character Varian
Destructive. What a destructive influence on the game.
You were called the Platinum Fisters. That was it.
Yeah.
It was the Platinum Fisters, which is you, Dutch, and Dylan. And then it was
What a team.
the Knights of Decorum, which was Rufus, Suncrest, Zook, and it was Kofin before.
At the time.
Rest in peace, Kofin.
Oh, R.I.P. son.
R.I.P.
They went and visited his grave
Rip.
recently.
Oh, man.
You weren't there for that, but they all paid their respects.
I mean, I could fucking bring him back to life.
Well, his soul is trapped in the sword, Frank's sword that slit his throat. So his soul is technically, if you can get his soul out, you could potentially resurrect him.
Up for grabs.
But there are
And
many
Rex could have
dangerous other things in that sword. So
A fucking thousand gold fucking diamond don't come cheap either.
that's also
Dark
true.
Pandora's box.
That's 100 platinum. Maths.
That's maths.
That's,
are you guys up for playing a little bit later than we
multiples of
usually do? Because
Always.
Mike doesn't.
Yeah.
I think Mike's still gonna go. He doesn't have work, but he said he has to drive somewhere. But
I don't think I can go much later because I can't. I'll just end up waking my boy up.
It's a house elf.
we can maybe go until 10. How does that sound? Is that too late?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I might have to swerve out, but that's okay.
Brim wanted to say hey.
Ah.
No Brian.
Just
Oh, look, it's
Prim?
it's my little child of the god child. It's Prim.
my little
She smells like musky biscuits.
Those are my favourite.
Musky biscuits.
They're my favourite biscuits at the moment. Marmite biscuits.
Ah, you heathen.
Marmite
I've been
on
eating loads of those too. Oh man, they're so good.
Marmite is the fucking one, man. I could eat it with a spoon.
Yeah, I
But
do. I do.
Watch my friend do
Just
it.
cleared a whole fucking packet of these bad boys.
Oh,
We'd love to be
Mate.
sponsored.
Yeah, my mate ate one of
I
the.
don't think we're supposed to show.
no, you're
packaging
not.
on
You're
Twitch.
not.
My mate
Yeah.
ate one of the giant jars in one sitting,
No one's watching, so it's
and
fine.
he
Yeah.
didn't leave my
Yeah.
friend's house for 4 days because for the first 2 he was just lying down with severe cramps. The third day, he went a bit weird because obviously he was dehydrated from all the salt. And on the 4th day, he had such explosive diarrhea, my mate couldn't use the toilet in his own house and had to go to the pub.
Jeez.
And then he gave birth to a yeast baby.
It's fucking gnarly.
I don't imagine just to have a look
I
at
love
this
Marmite.
shit.
Don't eat it by the kilo, is all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Don't eat big jar Marmite.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
just,
you are really muffled.
You're just very muffled.
Oh.
It's like
Sounds like you've got a bag over your head.
yeah.
Richter calls from the veil.
He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out.
I don't like it.
So,
You fuck.
Riptor. So, as the festivities continue throughout Ungmiri, Zook and Ruthus, you make your way to the Grove. Did you say?
I will be, yes.
I'm going to go
Rick-
look for that shit and bring it back to Kunda.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. The guard have taken it, and you kind of get word of where it is. You find it, and you deliver it pretty easily to Kunda. Zook, you make your way back to the.
I'm gonna
the Grove.
go to pick up Varian on my way.
Okay.
As I know he said he wanted to stay in the grove.
You pick up Varian. He's in his tavern, feeling sorry for himself, and Grim gives you a farewell, and you head south out of Umiri down the river towards the Bell Wood, where Zook's glade is. Now, Varian, you've been there previously. A small hut, a little burrow in the ground in a glade within the forest. But you've met some of the trees that Zook brought back to life. One of which, known as Choke the Oak, you'd had a kind of run-in with a monstrous tree of anger and great proportion. You told it what for, and it didn't back down until Zook managed to turn up and calm the situation. But tonight, the trees sleep peacefully on the edge of the glade as you make your way towards your burrow.
Now, Varian, watch out. There's power in these woods now. You might actually see a pixie, and it doesn't look anything like me.
This is a strange place. But lead on.
Just don't try and tread on any small rodents, or don't hit anything. Don't be too loud. Try not to be Varian-y, if you know what I mean.
I'll do as you say, Zook. Not a problem.
Volume.
You get there, and Richter is waiting there, sat on a stool. He'd brought with the guards the body of Rinnick, and Rinnick's body is laid out on the grass. You can see some of the kind of daisies and meadow flowers that have grown up in the glade, kind of just like around him. Richter, are you there?
Yes, hello, I'm here.
So you accompanied some of the guards taking Rinnick's body to the grove. You also told Zook about what Oshkar had said about there being someone that was paid to do it. Someone betrayed you.
I delivered robust exposition, yes.
So yeah, you see both Varian and Zook approaching you.
Well met, friends and gypsies.
Richter, thank you for escorting Rinnick's body. There's no one I trust more.
I appreciate your trust.
Please feel free to rest a while. There's a kettle and some tea leaves in the hut if you want a beverage.
I am rather parched, in fact. I will hand this over to you. And once again, allow me to please deliver my sincerest condolences. Rinnick was a fine gnome.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, it won't be the end. If the powers of the roots in the sky abide, I think I can bring him back. I'm going to float over to the middle of the grove. I'm going to plant the staff in the ground and expend a charge to grow it into a tree to shade the grove, and a sort of strange green light kind of emanates around. Not necessarily unnatural. It's almost like there's fireflies kind of buzzing in the air in a sort of twilight scene. I'm going to kneel down by Rinnick's body, pull out the lock of hair, and raise it above my head, and start sort of undulating in a circle. Angrach, Galai, Gadur, Maktu. I'm just going to start chanting as my eyes roll back, and white flames start to burn up from them, and the hair starts to burst into white flame too, and roots start to coil around Rinnick's body, and I begin. I release the oils and pour them over his body, and I began casting reincarnate.
So, I would like you to let me have a quick read of it. I'd like you to roll a D100 for me, please.
Oh, come back as a forest gnome. It's a
44.
79.
A 79. Over the next, I think it's an hour, is it? It takes to cast. Over the next hour, Varian and Richter, you watch this druidic performance. The ground itself begins to kind of vibrate and hum with the energy of the forest.
I danced all the time.
Varian is just sat down, not looking too happy about it or impressed. I've got a skin of ale, which I'm taking little sips of, and I'm smoking my pipe.
And eventually the roots begin to cocoon around the body of Rinnick, the small body. And the cocoon of the roots grows and grows and grows until a mound is created. And eventually, Zook, you watch as the mound kind of flowers and then wilts and then slowly rots away back into the earth. And you see an old human man. His frail form is spindly. There isn't much muscle on his body, but his hands and his arms and his feet are rugged. His skin quite leathery. It's seen many, many days of sunlight, more so than a human ever would. But yet there is Rinnick in human form, the opposite of what you had done to Ruthus. His eyes open slowly.
Welcome back, friend.
I heard you calling me, Zook.
I did. You were quite some way away. Quite a distance indeed.
His eyes widen. Nix.
Rest a while.
And he kind of falls back into unconsciousness again.
Richter, do you mind? I don't think I can lift him.
Of course, please, let me assist you.
Let's get him into the hut.
Very frail, Zook. I must say, I've never seen a human being of this age. I don't know how well his frame's going to handle this, but we'll be careful.
He's got spirit. He'll pull through.
I have no doubt.
I don't really know how it's going to work either. I'm just glad that I managed it. He needs rest.
I've become quite masterful at this overturning of mortality now, Zook.
Something in my mind tells me that there's a price to pay each time. Maybe I don't yet know it, but something is growing colder in the earth. I don't think it's good that I bandy my powers so willingly.
Well, times of war call for emergency powers, do they not? Even if just for a little while.
I couldn't forgive myself if I didn't bring him back. It's my fault that he's gone. So I have to do everything in my power to ensure that he...
That is
lives.
not true. You flew as hard as the winds could carry you, trying to find him. There is no fault here. Oshkar was deceitful, arrogant, and as awful as we remember him. That it was enough that you apologized to him. Do not accept the blame for his sins.
You do have a silver tongue, I have to say. Even I can't disagree with you. Thank you, friend.
Of course.
Let me put the kettle on.
Zook heads off to start brewing, and within a few minutes, the smell wafting from his burrow is delightful. Varian, you are taken aback by the smells upon your nostrils. They are both sweet and savory, both rich and floral. whatever brew he is concocting, it is a fine one. And it intrigues you enough that you all go down into the burrow, a very small gnome-sized, hut that digs down into the earth to a few small rooms.
Wait, how tall is this Yankee again?
They're about 6 foot. They're like slightly taller than humans.
Okay, so I don't have to bend that much more. Okay.
Yeah, so you're both kind of stooped down, sharing this brew in the in Zook's hut, and eventually, I imagine you're going to sleep there. Some guards turn up slightly later with a cart. There's some kind of rags and blankets that are covering what you assume is Jin's remains. And are you gonna all bed down there? I know Zook and Varian, you said you'd stay there. Richter,
Yeah, I'm just going to wrap my cloak around myself.
I think so, yeah. I don't see anything calling me elsewhere.
Okay. Dylan and Dutch, where are you? What are you doing? You bedding down?
Think upon finding the fort empty, I'll suggest to Dutch that we go to the grove.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way to the grove too. Rufus?
I think Rufus probably would have just gone back to the hall.
You head to the hall and you see both Dylan and Dutch heading out towards the grove.
Hey, sorry if I missed this at all, but what is the status of Rufus's mayoral residence now? Does he still have the house he had, or?
Can you explain, Rufus?
Yeah, we've still got the hall because we made it, I think, with our own money.
It's the guild hall, yeah.
So that's still our place.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, earlier on, some stuff happened, and Wayora was crowned mayor.
Okay, awesome. So the previous mayoral hall is now, it's no longer a civil building, and it's now a private and limited trade company for the Gypsies.
Well, the guild hall was always yours, but the fort, Rufus's fort, is kind of always been Ungmiri's.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, at the moment, it's a bit in between whether someone else is going to take over it or Rufus is still kind of in charge of it.
Right.
So do you head to the grove too, Rufus, or are you staying in the guild hall?
Yeah, I'll go as well. I'm going to take my book of squat nimbleness with me so I can read it before I go to bed.
Okay. You all make your way to the grove, and it's quite nice to bed down together once more, away from civilization and being back kind of in the woods. And each of you, feel kind of accustomed to that life on the road. Varian, as much as you love the taverns and the drinking, you are kind of a natural outdoorsman at heart. You spent great amounts of time in the kind of forests and northern areas of the Varamark with your father out in the wilderness. So it's nice to be back in the forest, although this is a particularly magical place that maybe doesn't appease you quite the same way. Definitely not as cold. Definitely not in. It's getting towards the end of summer now, and the leaves are slowly beginning to turn. And you all create a fire outside. There's not enough room for everyone to sleep in the burrow, but you set up camp within the glade.
As we're getting sort of into our perhaps drinks, smoking pipes, and taking our ease, I'm just gonna say, I was visited recently by quite an unlikely character. It was a person standing in my burrow, in my home. Now, this person didn't want me to tell you that they had appeared, but I don't know who they are. I don't know why they're here. And I trust you all more than I trust anyone. So I thought, why not tell you? This person, I had a conversation with them. They had a strange kind of language. They told me they'd come from underground and that they here seeking to learn things. Not the kind of things that would endanger someone. It's not vying for power or influence or wealth in ways that might threaten us. He seems genuinely just curious, such as a cat might be. So I conversed with him. He told me his name was Georian. And then, much to my dismay, he revealed that he was Dragonkin. Now, I was quite taken aback by that. Naturally, I was fearsome.
Zook, a dragon.
Well, I mean,
no, you cannot play host to that kind of thing. Not in this town.
But he seemed different.
Luke, have you the means to conjure his image?
Oh yes, of course. And I kind of tear up some grass and throw it in the air as it sparks, and mist becomes the form of Georian, kind of standing there shocked.
You see a kind of hunched, stony-skinned, rocky individual with kind of crustaceans of topaz gems about it, like a beard.
Oh.
The form slowly kind of shifts into that of a gemstone dragon, wingless creature with multiple arms, a large tail, and a beautiful, like orange, like my shirt, this topaz eyes that shine forth. An inquisitive look to its face.
Would Draug have ever read about or seen a picture of such a thing in his studies at the church?
You can roll me a history knowledge check. And Richter, you
I think
too.
Rufus did in the past. Did some research on dragons.
Rufus, you can roll me one too.
How big
History.
is
Are you asking Zook?
Well, no, like we can see it, can't we?
Yeah, but the scale might be hard.
Oh.
I would say, how big was he? He wasn't huge. Like 15 feet tall.
His
10
like
feet
form that he was in.
When he turned into a.
When he turned into a dragon, he was large.
Okay. I mean, not the greatest.
He's not that big.
Feet.
No, he wasn't.
And he
wasn't
can't
big.
fly.
No, he's some kind of burrowing.
Richter, what did you get?
Someone that lives
What
under
are we
the earth.
rolling for?
Roll me a history knowledge for gemstone dragons.
Okay, having no access to roll 20 right now, will someone please roll a d20 and +1?
Yes.
I was about to say, just pick a number. We trust you.
I'll roll it for you.
Roll it in your
Don't take
mind.
my one.
Sorry, mate, you got 4.
Rufus,
Rufus, what did you get?
wait, it couldn't have been a dragon. It has no
Oh,
wings.
Say again.
I got a 21.
21, and Brother Draug?
12.
12.
Can Varian have a roll on this one?
Oh, of
I feel like
course. Yes.
know
In
something
fact,
about it.
you can have advantage for it.
Is it a wisdom?
Dragon priest.
It is intelligence history,
No, fucking balls.
but you can have advantage.
Oh, it's not particularly helpful. I got 10.
You have never heard of these gemstone dragons before. You know of the chromatic dragons and the metallic dragons. The metallic dragons being that of Bahamut, Bahamut's children, the gold, the copper, the bronze, the silver, all good dragons. Although they may not see eye to eye, Bahamut and the platinum dragons are the rulers of those. But you hate, despise the chromatic dragons, the red, the green, the black, the blue, and the white, the evil dragons. But gemstones, you have never heard of such a thing. And you see the north wind stir about you. Rufus, your research into dragons and your kind of expert knowledge in these kind of fields, having particularly researched dragons at the was it the White Rock Archive? No, that was Dylan researching
remember, maybe.
pyramids. There was a time when you researched dragons, and there were a few accounts of gemstone dragons with no wings that burrow deep in the earth in the Underdark, but little was known about them. Little was known whether they fall into the kind of evil category or the good category, like most dragons do. They're very black and white dragons. You're either one of the chromatic, you're evil, you're one of the metallic, and you are good.
Oh wait, these dragons live in the Underdark. I wonder if they're good or evil.
They live in the Underdark, yeah.
Duke, I've heard tell of these creatures. I cannot say they are good or bad. Zook, I fear if a creature like that lurks within our town, if something changed its demeanor, think of the power it could wield, the amount of people it could kill.
I know, it concerns me too. Really, Ruthus, this creature, it was like a house pet. It was wondering, curious. It was cooking a broth in my hut, and when I showed it some magics, it was terrified, much like a wild dog or, a wandering badger. It just got scared and burrowed back.
I don't trust it. You have no idea how powerful dragons are, how intelligent they are. They can manipulate anyone. They can appear one thing and then turn on you the next and devastate anything that comes across them.
So the people very were right then. We are going to get them all killed.
Dutch, what's got into you? Why this hatred of our group?
It's just the stout talking.
Right, I see. Well, maybe you should switch to something a bit more punchy and uplifting.
Yeah, get off the fight.
Existential crisis might be the right term.
What did you say, Richter?
I said he should stop drinking the fight soup. That's what stout is.
Yes, that's far too much of that.
I can relate to my half brother here. I'd be lying if I said that I hadn't felt this way previously before as well.
Actually, I'm gonna suddenly have an idea and think, I wonder. It's worth trying something, but I could check if he's anywhere around this dragon. Bear with me. I'm gonna just go over to a tree, and I'm gonna sit down, and I'm gonna pull out some pine cones, and I'm gonna lay them out around me in a circle, and start chanting and commune with nature as all the pine cones just slowly get taken up on little shoots, and start throbbing with a yellow light. And I want to know if there are any dragons within 3 miles, or I think it's 500 feet if it's underground. Or
right. The shoots kind of curl and drop the nuts and seeds to the ground. It is
300 feet radius.
A negative response.
No. Okay. Well, he's not in the immediate vicinity, I can tell you that.
All I can say, Zook, is I think you should truly be careful. Take each step carefully with this thing.
Just a question: Would the enchantment you just committed to, Zook, would that give you an understanding of whether the dragon laid in this realm, but in the not in this realm, rather in the Underdark?
I would know if it was underground within 300 feet, but he's not immediately under the wood around here.
So
he could be further out.
So the Underdark is like the mines deep within the earth, whereas the Shadowfell is the place that the orb can take.
Oh, beg your pardon. Yeah.
So the Shadowfell is like the dark reflection of the world. Yeah, I knew.
He lives in the Underdark. Yeah.
The Underdark is like it's in the material plane. It's just deep within the earth. You all begin to bed down, and sleep eventually takes you within the glade. And you awake the next morning, rested. You can set your health back. You can set your slots back and change your spells out. And you awake in the morning. What are you going to do, Gypsies?
That depends on how hungover I am from last night.
Roll me a Constitution save for me, please.
Natural 20 on the most useless thing. How
Wow.
hungover is Dutch?
Dutch is
You got
up.
up and
Dutch is
immediately
up
awake.
earlier than anyone else, making eggs.
He's back on it, whistling to himself.
But, I'd like
Rufus
to
is
go-
gonna. No, carry on.
Sorry. Oh, I'd like to go over to Dutch. Perhaps when you're finished with breakfast, you'd fancy a bit of a sparring match to clear our heads for the day ahead.
That would be nice, brother.
And I clap him on the shoulder and start making some tea or something.
Rufus, what were you going to say?
Ruth is gonna get up and he's gonna just like start prepping himself. He's gonna like strap on all of his armor and like check his straps and make sure everything's tight, and like do some lunges around the grove.
Last night you probably could have read 4 more hours of your book.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Nice. And then as we're like sitting around having some breakfast that Dutch has made, I'm going to address everyone. Gypsies, I must remind you that time is of the essence. It's been 2 days since we discussed our plans, which means we have 2 days left to reach Soul Reach in time.
Then we go.
So if you're willing, then I suggest we make a move as soon as possible. But first, we must go see Wayora, and specifically Fleet and Elgrin, as they have a useful piece of information that we could use.
Varian, at this stage, is going to split from the group because he has no weapon and no armor. Is there a weaponsmith in the town?
There is. There's the smelting pot.
The smelting
forge.
pot. I'm going to go initially back to the Fortune's Rest, gather a little of some gold from the coffers.
Roll me an investigation check, please, Varian, as you kind of pick through some of the remains outside from your room.
That's 18.
You find the chest beneath the rubble. The chest in which you were captured within. It is closed and it is unharmed save for soot about it.
Can I just investigate the chest, what kind of latch it's got, and check it for any traps or anything like that?
Make me another investigation check.
Any sort of like a visual check on it? Oh, fuck's sake. That's a 7.
You look about it doesn't appear to have a lock mechanism, but there are runes and magical symbols upon it.
Do I make anything of those runes?
Not with that roll. You may need to ask a companion.
Do any of my companions read runes?
Some are more skilled in that art. Dylan is one that would.
Dylan,
would be
where is? I'm just calling out to Dylan. He's not there.
Everyone else is heading with Rufus towards Wayora's house.
Is the chest carryable? Can I carry it?
It's big. Like, it's big enough for you to climb into.
Okay, I'm going to call down to my barman. What's his name?
Grim.
Grim, and say, "Fetch a barrel cart out, man."
Yeah, right you are, Varian. And he goes off and brings out a cart. You
Okay, I load.
You chuck it onto it and you
Load it on.
begin making you.
Trundle that bad boy down.
Yeah.
And can I take a little gold from the till?
Yeah, you can actually. Roll me a. In fact, it's been a season. So there is, because it has been open during this time, according to the book, you can pick up 2,000 gold per season.
You know.
So
Okay,
it's
I'm
pretty
gonna
much
pick
the
up.
start of the next season now.
I'm gonna take.
It hasn't made as much money as you'd like. It's made 1,500.
I'll take all of that
Okay, write that down in your inventory.
because I'm gonna need a grand for this diamond.
And you make your way to Wayora's house too, Grim and you pulling the cart along. Everyone else, you reach Wayora's house, you knock on the door, and Fleet opens the door excitedly, seeing you all. What are you all doing here?
Lead, my boy. Can we come in?
Yeah, of course. We were just having some brunch. And he kind of runs off, and you all follow in. You can see Wayora is sitting down, and Elgrin seems to be cooking at the stove. Oh, good morning, Gypsies.
Hello, Wayora. Congratulations again on behalf of all of us.
Thank you. She kind of rubs her eye and yawns a bit. She looks pretty tired, like it's been a full night of meeting and greeting.
I hope you've all recovered. And I hope we're not interrupting, but we're on urgent gypsy business today.
Richter, was that you saying congratulations?
I think that's Brother Drow.
I didn't.
Oh, it's Brother Drow.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking. She kind of nods to you all and kind of excuses herself and with you for a second, Ruthus. She says, "What can I do for you today, Ruthus?"
We're going to be heading home. We're going back to Solwich.
Why? There's nothing for you there, Ruthus. Nothing but bad memories.
No, there isn't. But, well, there is one thing. One thing that's more pressing than anything, which drives us to go there. It's the Sunstone, you know? In the square outside the palace.
The Shining Relic.
Yes, indeed. I'm basically going to fill her in. We don't have to RP it all. I'll fill her in on like the whole issue with Bren and what we've discovered about the Sunstones. Now that she's mayor, it's probably real good that she understands it.
Yeah.
The fact that there was one in Brinchander, and that's why we're going.
She takes it all in, kind of nodding. Well, then you must go. But Ruthus, Christoph knows you're coming. He must have a reason for you to come.
Indeed. I wanted to ask you.
Is a threat to him and his lineage. Although you have no rightful claim more than his, it still threatens him. But he cannot outright have you hung or strung up in the streets. No, the Empire is not barbaric. They have rules. But if he managed to get away with what he did, then who knows what he's capable of. You must find friends, Ruthus. You could speak to... you could speak to some of the other houses. Speak to some old companions. I don't know if you could trust anyone, though, at this stage. It's been a few years. Who knows what's changed in the province?
After you fled, did you hear of where Elwyn went? Do you know where he might be? Have you had any word, any contact?
I haven't had any contact since we left. The small amount that we gauged from Nathir as he turned up shortly after was pretty much it. I can only assume that your brother and that Blackfriar bitch have set up shop, perhaps a few children even now. Who knows? And as far as Elwyn, I imagine he's dead.
He was always neutral. I feel like, if anyone, he could be there still, keeping himself away from the conflict.
If he's keeping himself away,
But Weora,
he'll not be in the city. You can either find him, I'm sure, at the archive if he is still there, or perhaps at his residence.
That's a good shout. I'll have to check those places out. Weora, there is one thing that troubles me still, and it's Talura. I know it. I feel she's alive.
I can't bring myself, Ruthus. I cannot get hope. I have not heard a word from her. I have no reason to believe
If
that
there
she
is
still
hope,
alive.
I can't do anything about Kristoff and his reign while we're there, but the one thing I could do is try and find out if she's alive still.
She takes your hands and she says, "That would mean more to me than anything in this world. And if she is,
For the boys, too.
if she has passed, don't tell them. They assume she's already dead. I can't have them holding out for hope.
No,
Can't
that is
imagine she
wise.
escaped the fires, and even if she did, Kristoff would have." And she kind of looks down at the ground.
Rufus will just nod, take a moment. I need to see Elgrin's maps.
Well, you'll have to ask him then. He's been extremely busy. I don't tend to go up in his room. It smells somewhat, and he won't let me tidy it for him. Yeah, what is a grandmother supposed to do with him? Fleet, on the other hand, very helpful, always. But I've been getting Elgrin to do some cooking. He's making us some turnip recipe that he found or dreamt up. I'm not sure if it's going to be very good, but make sure you say it smells nice.
It's good to keep them busy, isn't it?
You both kind of go back into the kitchen, and all the other gypsies, you're kind of sitting around, and Elgrin passes you a bowl of whatever he's made. It looks and smells not great. It's a stew, a broth of some kind. It's quite oily.
Smells delicious.
This is wonderful, Elgrin.
Elgrin, what is this mighty feast you've conjured?
He kind of looks.
A hero's breakfast.
And Fleet is like, "Oh, this tastes like, oh," and he spits out onto the ground. "Elgrin, oh, you're terrible at cooking." And Elgrin just kind of looks at him and runs off upstairs. Oh, Warrior returns to Fleet. It's like, "Fleet, you mustn't be hard on him." Fleet kind of looks down. "I'm sorry, Grandma."
No food can taste that bad. I'm just going to take a spoonful.
It's okay. It's pretty salty.
Like Marmite.
It's very malty and marmitey.
Right sight from an arse.
I'm going to turn to Fleet. I'm going to turn to Fleet and be like, Fleet, how have you been getting on? Have you been practicing?
Yes. No, I've been practicing a lot. So I've been practicing my jabs recently. Nathir's got me some tutelage in the watch, as well as some of Ruth's men.
No, I did none of that.
Oh,
I mean, with the gift, with your natural proficiency, your ear for the soil and the ground.
And he looks down at the ground. I'm sorry, Zook. I haven't haven't been practicing. I've been too wrapped up in my combat training.
No, it's okay. I don't want you to feel bad, but do take some time.
I will. No, you're right. I will. I'll practice now. I'll practice now. And he runs off out into the garden. You can see him like trying to gather sticks and other things. I think he clearly prefers one subject maybe than the other, and he's like, even though naturally gifted in the kind of druidic or magic in some way, he wants to be a knight. You make your way upstairs, Rufus, and knock on Elgrin's door.
Can I follow? Can I follow Rufus up there?
Yes, yeah. You can go too. And Elgrin opens the door and kind of steps aside and lets you both in. Oh, Lord Mayor, Mr. Suncrest?
You'll have to refer to your grandmother as Lord Mayor now.
Right, yes. Richter, well met.
Good to see you, young one. Sorry about my voice, little throaty. I'm still like in the appearance of human Richter.
I totally imagined you were keeping up that with your Mask of Many Faces.
Yes, I should have mentioned that, but my voice is still a bit. Yes, it's good to see you. Good to see you.
A little bit coughing. I've been working on a few things, a few maps. Grandma said that you'd be heading east, back to the Empire, and I started having more dreams and remembering things from our time there, thinking a little bit more about it, and these could be useful. And he kind of hands you 2 rolls, quite like large map rolls.
Ooh.
Indeed they will, Elgrin. This is the precise reason I came to see you today. Would you come downstairs and show the others these? Describe what you've made?
Okay. And he takes them and comes back downstairs, and you, Wayora and I imagine Dutch is like really helpful. I just imagine you as that sort of person that, although Dutch is this like brute of a man, you're there washing up, and Wayora is like, thank you, Dutch. The table is cleared, and he gets one of the first ones and unrolls it onto the table before you, and you see.
Hey.
A beautiful map. Sorry, Aidan, you can't see this, but we'll send it to you.
I see it in my mind.
A map of the Glinting Province. Meta-wise, done by yours truly, Josh. Literally like months and months ago, of his home province.
It's been in the bank for a long time.
Elgrin kind of points towards certain sections. He's like, look, and there's Solreach, the Shining Beacon. There's the Elwyn Estate, Elwyn's Tower, and the Linen Farms, the Black Spirit Inn that we went to. Do you remember? The Gleaming Grove, the part of the Aeocene there on the side, and of course the horrible Blackfriar Peak there too, all with the radiant shimmering through it.
This is truly wonderful, Elgrin.
Marvelous work.
He then unfurls the next map. Says, I based this on kind of memories, but I had an old map. I don't know if things have changed now, but this is how I remember it. And he unravels a map of Solreach.
Oh, very fine representation.
Yeah. Also done by yours truly, Josh.
Yes.
Very fine cartography exhibit.
Love the way it's not roads, you just go down the gaps in the houses.
Can Richter make a performance check to try and transcribe these into his codex?
As you begin kind of sketching, Elgrin's like, no, that you take these.
Are you sure, Elgrin? This must have been the result of weeks of work.
Well, they need to get used, and I have no reason to go back there.
Well, Elgrin, I must say, we cannot simply take these as a gift. Let me please repay you in kind. And Richter tears from his codex the sketch he took through the vast dimensional telescope in the library. Remember that?
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
The map of the Earth, or the sphere.
Which Richter didn't fully comprehend, I don't think, but he did sketch everything he saw.
Flat circle.
Well, you saw it. Dutch saw it briefly. It was like a flat map had been wrapped around a marble, and you didn't understand why.
Yes.
He like stares in wonder at it. Thank you.
A map for a map. It is only fair.
Well, I made two, but this is great. He doesn't say that. He's very, very thankful. He's very thankful. So, you with these new maps in your possession, what's next for you gypsies?
Richter wants to, without just to exposition it real quick, expedite. I mean, Richter he explains to Silas why he's leaving and what's going on and all of that. He also maybe suggests that Nathea present Silas and Gaze to Waylon potentially as assistants. You know, because Waylon has a somewhat similar personality and Nolks in some ways, and bids Silas farewell.
She's kind of like enjoying her time in this strange place, and clearly it's feeding that same kind of hunger of knowledge that you have. If you were in her lands, you would want to stay and experience, the difference and the wonders that they have to offer. She's just enjoying her time. She does tug at your sleeve before leaving, and give you a small peck on the cheek.
Damn. Well, Richter returns it.
You also kiss her on the cheek as well.
Yeah, it's a little awkward, but they share a little moment there.
She tells you to be back soon. She's you can see there's a concern in her face for the Seeker and what's next, but she's unsure of what your kind of fates are.
Actually, I was just thinking I'd quite like to go see Aaron and ask if he can go to the Grove and to check in on Nick and make sure he recovers. And when he's strong enough, take him back to Amiri and let him go back to his shop.
Aaron is like at your disposal. Not only have you saved him on many occasions, but you've regenerated his arm and given him sort of life again. You tell him, I imagine, that you're on your way to get a diamond of sufficient quality to bring him back, and he kind of nods to you, and he takes his stuff. You see Arabella there too, his daughter, and she is just in pieces, but knowing that you have this confidence that you'll bring him back, she's got hope.
Varian, you mentioned something about some kind of arcane chest you'd like me to inspect.
Am I with you guys now?
Yep, you've arrived at the house.
Excellent. Yes, Brother Drow.
Foghorns in the deep.
I am not familiar with these markings. What do you make of them?
Can I investigate these arcane
do
runes?
Me an Arcana check or an investigation check.
I have both tagged, but investigation is a bit better. 30.
a 30.
Yeah.
You thoroughly investigate the chest, and it is a chest of holding. The markings about it are that of conjuration, teleportation-based magic. There are kind of glyphs and runes similar to that of what you would find on a bag of holding. Inside, your assumption is that there is some kind of pocket dimension.
Sick.
I explain this to Varian and the rest of the group.
I creak open the door of it.
You pop it open, and inside, it's pitch black. But there is the rung of a ladder that leads down into the darkness.
Jesus Christ.
Varian, you're aware of this. This is where you escaped from.
The crate of holding.
A chest of holding.
We're going to find Mad Eye Moody at the bottom.
I'm going to
Back to prison.
let light glow from my my ring, which I have as a light, and I'm going to step down in there.
You pass
But I'm going to leave
down-
Gypsies to hold the door.
Okay, you pass down through like the curtain of darkness and eventually come out into what looks to be a small room.
I remember this place.
Within the
I was
room,
imprisoned here.
it is essentially a small dungeon. There are chains and manacles against the wall that are broken that you've managed to break finally free. There is implements on a desk that you remember the doppelganger using upon you to feast on your blood. You don't know why it had to feast on your blood, but it did regularly. Every day or so, it would come back and take some more of your blood and let you recuperate. Does anyone else go down, or is it just you're just waiting? Varian's gone into this darkness.
I ain't going in the dark hole.
Hell no.
Varian,
Yeah, Richter goes down because he sees that darkness and he wants to test out his devil's sight a little.
okay. Weirdly, your vision doesn't pass through it. It's like staring into a bag of holding. You can't see what's within. There's like a curtain in the way almost. But as you pass through it, you are in a room brightly lit by Varian's light. You can both roll me investigation checks if you'd like.
I look at Varian and say, damn, you look like this. No, don't do that. Yeah.
Had you gone
Nice.
down too, Brother Drug?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you get? 27?
Yeah.
18.
18. Richter, do you want me to roll?
Yeah, +1.
+1. You got a natural 20, my dude.
Ooh.
A natural 20. You thoroughly investigate the room, and you find kind of like traces and remnants of what appear to be like essentially blood transfusion.
Ugh.
This creature had clearly been taking the blood of whoever was chained here. You're still unaware that that's Varian. He hasn't told you any of this.
Right.
And taking the blood.
I was
from
imprisoned here.
Do you kind of retell your tale of being?
Yeah,
imprisoned?
yeah.
You kind of deduce that the creature had been taking Varian's blood. You're not sure why, but it's like an infuser. It's like swapping it and putting it in itself.
Was it using some
As
kind
a-
of light or?
As obviously with Draug's intimate knowledge of blood magic, would he have maybe a bit of an understanding of
You
this?
can make me either a history or arcana knowledge check.
Let's go for an arcana. Ooh, 24.
24.
Rolling hot.
A doppelganger, a creature of deceit and unlike that of Valentine, someone who is a shapeshifter, someone who can take the form of others. A doppelganger itself is a darker, more malign creature, almost like the inverse reflection of a shape changer. Where there is shape changers from the Fae, there are doppelgangers from the Shadowfell. A an opposite in nature, often highly sought after in political intrigue, hired and paid in great amounts of coin to overthrow kingdoms, assassinate rulers, infiltrate dark sects and religious sects. They are extremely dangerous creatures. From your memory, thinking back to this creature, it was able to cast spells, and you begin to kind of put two and two together. There were elements where things didn't quite make sense. Occasionally, this fake Varian couldn't quite remember certain aspects of things that Varian should know. Things of not remembering the Shivra being a big one, but also not remembering who Kelsimir was for a time. Not remembering Siegfried, and not remembering a few various things. Also, Varian had cast certain spells that, or not cast certain spells that he was usually able to cast. For example, bringing someone back from death. And you remember that when you teleported away from the devils, rather than being recalled, as he said his spell would, to the tavern, you were thrown miles away from Angmiri, down by the river. You recalling this and knowing kind of teleportation magic, that is because he cast teleport, not Word of Recall. A spell, Word of Recall is a divine spell, and this creature, clearly unable to cast divine spells, had to make do with arcane spells in replace, and was therefore unable to do certain things that Varian would have done, and passed it off as him being detached from Bahamut, not wearing the ring for starters. Bahamut, the north wind blowing about Varian angrily lots, because it wasn't really Varian, it was Bahamut crossed with this creature imitating a dragon priest.
Damn, I feel such a fool for not having realized this sooner.
Long did I stand in these chains, my friends. But now, Bahamut's mighty wind has blown around them to release me and do good works in the name of the Gypsies of Fortune.
The last thing you remember, Varian, was an amazing evening at the Saltroom steam baths in Varamark City, where you met with your good old companion, Mr. Icebreaker, your old companion and close friend who maybe liked you a little bit more than you would have liked.
A lusty little beast.
You spent the eve drinking with him, and when he left your chambers, you were accosted by the Silver Mark. Dwarfs came and took you. A fight was had, but something had been slipped to your drink. Something you were sharing with Mr. Icebreaker.
Treachery.
Are you telling us this as you recall it, Varian?
Yes.
Okay, because Richter's jaw is working really hard as he hears all this. He's feeling kind of vindicated about a few things.
Icebreaker betrayed me.
His intentions might have been...
I thought he just wanted to bum me there and then with this beleaguering around my drinks.
No doubt.
But it was treachery, and he held me over to the Silvermark Brotherhood. I don't know if he did it for coin or favor, but he has betrayed me.
We should inform the others of this information. It will have influence over our next steps, I'm sure. I know that Rufus is keen to get to Soul Reach, but this is certainly something we must think upon.
Richter's already on his way up the ladder.
It is my fear that we have not seen the last of this shapeshifter.
No doubt. Well, if I've learned anything, it's to look into things a little harder. Make sure that we won't be tricked like this again. Come, Varian. Let's divulge this information with the others.
Quick butchers around this cell. Is there any of my kit in it?
No, your sword is not
Bollocks. There. Okay, I need to go to the armourers.
Okay. Leave this chest.
As I leave,
The others.
I'm going to spit on the floor and then turn my back on the place.
Rolo, I've just messaged you some info that, like, I think I did message you ages ago when we came up with stuff about the Varamark, but then you ended up never playing it and you probably have forgotten. So I've just messaged you some stuff that you know, whether or not you can do with it what you will.
After that,
you head out of this strange chest.
The moment Richter gets out of the chest, he casts Sending.
To who?
Just to remember, Siegfried, she's still hanging out, right? Or is she left?
Siegfried is still here, yeah.
Right, okay. In that case, I send a message to Folletti.
Okay.
Folletti, Richter here. All is well. At least one doppelganger in conspiring with Icebreaker. Varamark may be compromised to imposters. You alert.
Richter, was that a message to Siegfried?
No, that was a message to Folletti, a brother of the Dawn's Blade, currently stationed back in Varamark City at the Scabbard.
You get a ping back, Richter, from Folletti. Oh. He just seems stunned. I mean, they don't know you're alive.
Oh yeah.
And you hear this, Richter, I'm sorry. You're alive? You're in my head. I will do as you say. May your spirit find the next world. And that's the
end. You forget who you've told things, don't you?
I have to remember it all.
He'll be fine. I best tell Siegfried before she leaves.
Weren't we meant to be taking her home with teleports and shit?
You may have forgot to do that.
I just presumed the person who could do it would have got it sorted.
A lot of shit on my druid plate.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Big old inbox.
So what are you doing?
His wood pigeonhole.
Do I need to send Siegfried back to Varamark City? Because if so, then we can only go to maybe the Aeocene and then spend the night and then go to Soul Reach the next day.
I don't want to keep us in our journey to Soul Reach. I don't want to leave Siegfried stranded, but I appreciate we have a very pressing deadline.
Yeah, I mean it's doable. We have 2 days, no? Is that?
We have 2 days before Christoph's deadline, yes. But at the very least, I think we should find Elwyn if we do travel to the province.
How much do we truly care about your nephew's deadline? Do you truly feel threatened by it, Ruthus, or is it merely an excuse to make our way to Soul Reach to find the Sunstone?
I don't know. I don't know his true capabilities.
Well, I couldn't
As we discussed before, he is a fool, but he is He is spiteful and
A
dangerous.
fool.
A loose cannon. And he has the power of the Empire behind him. He seeks to some kind of vengeance, but I know not what. The reason for going is still primarily the Sunstone. I don't wish to tarry with Christoph whatsoever. I wish to get the Sunstone and get out.
What is it that he asked of you upon this date? He asked that you make your way to Soul Reach and meet with him, or hand yourself in. I apologize.
It's been quite a while. The wording was a summons to meet in Soul Reach, and if we were to not, it would garner serious consequences for us.
Perhaps before we make our way there, we should start thinking upon some kind of plan of what it is that we intend to do when we reach there. Of course, the Sunstone is of high priority, but do you have any intention of meeting with your nephew, or is it?
Well, that depends. I fear it may be inevitable, but that's why I'd like to... First, I would suggest we go to Elwyn Tor. It's the home place of Elwyn. Heath Elwyn, to be exact. He always managed to stay neutral. When the uprising happened, he kept out of it, and he was a close friend. If anyone, he'll still know what's going on.
I presume we will be doing our best to disguise our true identities when we arrive.
Indeed. However, being a gnome is quite good in this situation. No one knows.
Of
Let's hope so, anyway.
Some of us may draw unnecessary attention, but I am quite good at passing unnoticed.
As am I.
Once we enter Soul Reach itself, it will no doubt be a stealthy operation.
Might I recommend a shave? It would. Although you are indeed of a different race than when you were there before, you do bear quite the resemblance to your previous self. However, lose the iconic beard, and I'm sure you would pass as a stranger.
Especially if you had a broken nose as well.
He's already got a broken nose from last time.
I already do.
You went to White Rock and you broke his nose, so he looked different.
A clean shave might be welcome,
shit,
actually.
That was before you were a gnome. That was on the way to the Aesine.
Yeah.
So, maybe lose all the sun emblazoned clothing as well.
All the heraldry. I'm not sure what I have anymore, because I've got a new shield which doesn't have anything on.
Mm-hmm.
And you had your armor remade
and stuff. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything really.
Well, logistically, we can get Siegfried to Varamar City tonight. We can travel to the Aesine tonight. We can stay there. We can then probably make our way to Soul Reach, and by my estimates, get there in a day. We could go to this Elwyn Tor, see if there's anything around there, stay the night, and then the day after that, I believe, is when we are to meet your nephew.
Today is the third day, so tomorrow is the due date.
Is it?
Yeah.
So be it.
Do you know what tomorrow? If we awaken, if we travel to the Aesine tonight to High Canopy and leave early on the morrow, then with any luck we'll arrive with some time. We may have to fit a lot in one day, but it's the best we can do with Zook's powerful but limited powers.
I think yes. On the fourth day, we can visit Elwyn Tor and Soul Reach right after.
We should start making tracks. Varian, you require more armaments.
Yeah, I'm gonna stroll out straight for the armourer.
Okay, so before you leave, what are the last things you want to do? Zook, are you going to teleport Siegfried?
Yeah, so I'm going to send Siegfried. I'm going to find her and send her.
I'd like to talk to Richter a little bit and just say, like, maybe we can have a discussion with Siegfried before she's transported back, and just sort of fill her in about the whole icebreaker situation, about that he's most likely involved. I'm sure she's aware of the events of yesterday's events, so we can sort of tell her the story and explain how Icebreaker's most likely involved in this. See if she can get some sort of surveillance going on them, and see if we can sort of find if Oshkar, if there's still any more dealings going on or anything like that.
Yeah.
You all go and to find Siegfried, and you fill her in about the like the goings on and the things in Baranmark. She kind of stands there for a while. You're kind of she's in the guild hall. And she's just chatting in a separate room with Draug and Richter. And she says that she what's her voice sound like again, Richter?
Well, sort of, like a bit tough.
Like tough, and she's gruff.
Yeah.
Tough and gruff.
She says, well, I mean, I'll see what I can do. You said you sent a message to Folletti. Hopefully he's passed it on. I mean, other thing is, I'm not against making my own way back. Maybe you spare a few men, a few good swords. I'll take my way back through the Varamark. Might take me a week or so, but I'd like to see what's going on. Been a while since I, stepped away. Had a good look at what's going on. Maybe I'll find a few Shivra on my way. Put them to the sword.
My lady.
Yeah, Richter's chuckling. He's like, Guano. And he can tell she hasn't swung a morning star in a little while.
Yeah. Varian, you step into the room, and she turns, seeing you approach,
lady.
walking up to you, and just backhands you across the face with the back of her hand.
Why do you strike me?
Why is that not surprising?
Get that dirty son of a bitch away from me.
God, I thought we were going to fill you in. That's why I'm here.
You're acquainted.
Yes, brother. Acquainted with this one. You hang around with him, do you?
Oh. It's not all that bad.
Pick me up.
My lady.
He is quite abrasive, but he has occasionally done some things to help us.
I'm just going to pull my newly purchased sword out and just kneel on it like that, like an errant knight.
My lady.
She looks, Richter. You see, she is taken aback somewhat. She seems uncomfortable, but she's usually very confident. But this has kind of put her off kilter. Oh, stand up, Varian, you fucking idiot.
Oh.
How are you two acquainted?
We've known each other for some time. We go back to the Varamark city.
You know my sister?
Hang on, who's your sister?
Siegfried is here.
Siegfried is.
Oh, fuck, okay.
We have been acquainted for some time, Richter. Funny, I also knew her father, an honourable man.
Well, I mean,
father.
She doesn't know her father, so I don't really believe that. We grew up in the same orphanage.
Right.
Good.
Yeah. Thing about that, Richter. I do have a dad.
Oh. Wait. What?
Look, he didn't want me around, so I just spent time without. I ain't got no mum, and he. I don't have his name.
He just dumped you in the Vice orphanage.
Well, no, I just liked it there. Didn't you ever wonder that I wasn't always around? Kind of went off.
Well, yeah, I figured, Vengeance Paladin, you had a lot of killing to do.
No, but even before then, as a kid.
I gotta say, I never thought about it. Wow. Who's your dad?
His name's Kelsimir. Kelsimir Stormrunner.
I'm just going to kneel down and go, Bahamut be praised.
Is that a friend of yours, Varian?
A most honorable servant of my Lord Bahamut.
Oh, so you're a dragon priest's daughter?
Well, he's not my. I mean, he is my real dad, but he's not. I don't want to talk about this.
Fair enough. I've not really seen you off kilt like this before. I apologize.
Why aren't you more annoyed, Richter? You're always so amenable, and she sort of pushes your arm. I've been lying to you all these years. Pretending to be one of you, one of the orphans, making you feel better. And look, you just shrug it off. Get a grip, Richter.
Guana. Fuck you.
She smiles at that. It's fair enough.
I hope on the right hand you get shit on by bats, you piece of shit.
All right. We're going a bit far now, Richter. Stay in line.
I just sort of felt like flapping my arms and making bat noises.
That was one time.
Yeah, but that's all it takes for a phobia.
Well, the years haven't served you too well, Varian, son of Vadron.
My lady.
Stop calling me my lady. You know I'd never like that.
Well, I'll get Ruthus and see if he can find you perhaps he can lend you some gold cloaks to accompany you. And I'll sort of just awkwardly back out of this conversation.
Homer Simpson into the hedge.
Varian casts meld to
stone. Well, be seeing you.
Well, this has been nice. Good. Okay.
You leave, and
just gonna say ride well and leave.
She turns to you, Richter, before you leave. And she says, "Look, I'm sorry I never told you, but I'm not one for gods. I'm one for what people do. I'm one for oaths. And although he's my blood father, I don't take his name. I'm no Stormrunner.
You are Siegfried White, sister paladin of the Order of Dawn's Blade. You are my sister, and always shall be."
She nods to you. Also, nothing ever happened with me and him, by the way, just so you know.
No. That was the attention. I wasn't sure what was going on there.
It could have been. It should have been.
Oh, Varian Simp. Yeah, okay.
It should have been.
Yeah, maybe there was a time, Varian, but that time's passed, hasn't it?
Well, I know I'm a little longer in the beard now, but let's never say never.
She cracks a smile, and it's a rare smile for her. But she leaves, and you organise her a few good swords to spare, to sort of accompany her on her expedition back through the Baramark. And with the spare spell slots, where are you going first, Zook?
What I'll do is well, to be fair, I think we'll probably just head to the Aesine tonight. I mean, what's the time?
It's midday.
I'll consult with the Gypsies. I mean, we don't necessarily need to RP this, but do we want to go to High Canopy, and then maybe spend an hour there, and then fly? No, wait, we couldn't do that. If I send, because she's making her own way back. So we could go to the Aesine and then fly, and probably be in Soul Reach or the Glinting Province by nightfall. Or we can go to High Canopy, wait, and then fly.
Fleet.
First one sounds good.
Fleet and Elgrin are about 15. So, up to you. Theo just said, is Fleet young enough or old enough to accompany Siegfried?
Dawn's Blade will accept volunteers from 12. So I mean, it's a very harsh.
And if I think back, well, from what I can remember, it's Dylan. Well, I mean, perhaps it would be good for him to gain some practical experience on the road. He wouldn't be alone. He'd have Siegfried and a couple of Rufus's gold cloaks.
Would Wayor allow it?
Well, if I think of the things that, from what I can remember, is Dylan, the things that me and Dutch were up to at 15. Well, I mean, half my skill with the blade and Dutch's skills with his fists, we'd learn half of those things by the time we were that age.
Yeah, I mean, there's age and then there's experience, and they're two different things, isn't it? 10-year-old who's grown up in a pub is going to be more of an adult than a 12-year-old who grew up in a fucking school.
Yeah.
So, what's the decision? I'm going to wrap up now. So, what's the decision with Fleet?
With Fleet? I don't know.
We could ask what he wants. I mean, if he's interested,
yeah, it's up to him, isn't it?
Rufus, what say you?
Fleet's business is his own and his family's. I'm in no position to say what he can and can't do. It will be Wayora's decision, if anything.
You go, you tell Wayora of the idea. She shoots it down immediately. But if she were to be persuaded, you could roll if you want to, and we'll see what the outcome is. But someone needs to be the one to persuade Wayora. If you decide not to persuade her, then he's not going to go.
Rufus doesn't think it's a wise idea, but I'm not really going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I think he should go.
Well, let's suggest the idea to him. He wants to be a knight, correct? We could tell him about the idea.
And then he can persuade Wayora, and we'll see what happens.
Just gonna tell him though, after everyone's regaled him with stories of knights, be like, see, the thing is I like you too much not to tell you this. We went to rescue some knights once, and they were eaten by ogres.
Roll me a deception check, please.
That's true.
When did that happen?
The knights from here. We went to save them. Nightstone.
They weren't knights, though. They were just villagers. So roll me a deception. You've embellished the story.
They were eaten by goblins.
Yeah. There was an ogre, which you slayed.
Is it a deception? What is that?
Deception, charisma.
Oh, so a 19?
Right, hang on. Nah.
Yeah.
Really?
Eaten. In the armour and everything.
I'll put a hand on Fleet's shoulder and I'll say, Fleet, The thing is, there's only so much you can learn. Training with the gods here in Ingmiri. There's nothing like practical experience to shape you as a warrior, as a future warrior. How do you think Rufus has gotten to where he is today? I understand that Weora is, of course, apprehensive and fearful of such a thing, but myself and Dutch, we were living on the streets at 15. We were formed by that experience.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Do I get advantage because of Dutch's thing?
I'll give you advantage because like it sings true with him, but
it's a 12, which is not bad for me.
He kind of gulps and looks at Dutch still, but we'll see. I'll do some rolls and we'll see. You anything else, or are you going?
I'm going to tell him if he's serious about all the fighting, all of it. You've got to learn to do it without relying on a fucking sword.
Interesting. You head to which tree are you heading to? Where are you going, Zook?
The good old oak in the field.
You
the
go
classic.
Up to the oak looking over Angmiri. You stretch it open, tearing the gate through it.
Like a magical bus terminal.
And you all rush through. Varian, you're going with them?
Like a tree goatsy.
Yeah, I'll go with them.
So you're going to be around next session?
Hopefully, yes.
Varian.
Oh, the north wind!
And the north wind carries you forth. You rush out, and I'll quickly wrap it up with... you rush out through the tree. Where on the tree do you want to come out, Zook?
I always imagined we'd never actually go through high canopy. We'd come out in a tree that faces high canopy.
You come out of one of the trees on the kind
like
of...
in front of the doorway, sort of thing.
Well, the trees are a ways back in a circular rim around the great, huge tree of high canopy within the Aeocene. You come out, and before you see Bellum Kanda, her frame kind of silhouetted by sunlight from behind, as well as a large minotaur, the figure of Theanor, both standing in the entrance a ways off. You see them. You can see two large, big wood woads ingrained into the doorway of high canopy. It is alive with life and birds and creatures and insects of all kinds, and you see them both kind of raise a hand expecting your arrival, and you can see Bellum Kanda is with child, and that is where we will end today's session.
Oh, a blessing.
Zook has a child.
That wasn't me.
Yeah. You dirty little
Thank you all
gnome
for
dog.
watching, everyone.
Thank you all so much. Next
Peace.
time,
Thanks, dude.
Peace.
I'll remove a piece of clothing for each 100 viewers we have.
No.
So share it.